SMU in blue, Texas in white. Mustangs won the toss and will receive. We will see changes in the Texas return game from the past few weeks when that finally happens. Herky Walls of Garland expected to be benched today, but we're ready for this one. Sit back and enjoy it with us. Texas and SMU. Texas 10th in the nation, SMU 8th in the nation. Allegre kicks off short. And we are underway as the ball takes a Texas bounce, and Blaine Smith picks it up, and he's dropped almost instantly by the Longhorns. Fields, number 25, Jitter Fields, the backup defensive back. Let's set up the SMU offensive alignment. Lance McElhenney at quarterback. We expect Eric Dickerson to come out at tailback with Jerry Kovar starting at fullback. Lee Jean on the wing. Jackie Wilson the split end. Ricky Bolden the tight end. The offensive line for SMU: Stanlin, Beard, McAdams, Hartnett, and Schulte. SMU starting 1st and 10 at its own 19-yard line to begin the game. Dickerson deep in the eye and getting the first handoff, and he's crunched. And let's look at the Texas defensive unit that begins the game, and they play a 4-3 defense. Eric Holly, everything 77, Kenneth Sims, Weber, and Diayala. The linebackers, and these are good ones: Schultz, Schenkel, and Lighting only a sophomore, and a fine, experienced secondary: Vance Bedford and Mike Hatchett on the corners with Bobby Johnson and William Graham. SMU goes to 2 tight ends as Norm Revis comes in, and now check it with Craig James in at fullback. The up man in the eye. We're going to see a lot of this. James and Dickerson in the lineup together as Jean comes in motion, and James pops up the middle. He is dragged down in the secondary by the safety, William Graham, number 36. Preston.
And Brad, this has got to be a very important move for the Mustangs. With Craig James in the backfield playing a fullback spot, one of their best running backs, this has got to be one of the moves for Ron Meyer and the SMU Mustangs to offset some of that strength that the Texas Longhorns have.
3rd down and 4 for SMU. The ball out on their own 25-yard line. And again, James, and no, Kovar now is the fullback. James is out. Dickerson the I-back. A slot right formation. Dickerson fumbles the ball.
Texas has got it.
Texas has it back. Kenneth Sims, number 77.
Look at this man. Look at the size on that young man there. Look at the speed, the leaping ability right there. Now, this is what Texas was not able to do last week with Arkansas. SMU finds himself in a similar position here, and I believe this is all Sims. He just barely got in touch, grabbed the ball arm at the same time, and knocked it out of there. Bad case for SMU at this point. Very good field position, obviously, for Texas.
So the Longhorns get it for the first time on the SMU 21-yard line. And we'll give you the offense in a minute, but this is Jam Jones, number 24, stopped by Michael Carter for a yard. Let's set the Texas offense for you now. It's Rick McIver, number 15, at quarterback. And he has a backfield of Carl Robinson and A.J. Jones. Donnie Little, the former quarterback, with Maurice McCloney at wide receiver. Lawrence Sampleton, a big tight end. And the offensive line, what a great one, too. Tobolka, Sharon, Babb, Dawson, and Tausch. 2nd down 9. We'll give you the SMU defense in a moment. Donnie Little goes in motion on 2nd and 9. That's Jam Jones. Runs right into the middle of the defense. And let's give you that SMU defensive alignment. They play a 5-man front. Victor Simon, Harvey Armstrong, Michael Carter. Kevin Chaney will alternate a lot with Richard Neely at right tackle today. Russell Washington starting at right end. Ferguson and Moten, the linebackers. And the big play secondary of Carter, Nichols, Hopkins, and Mobley, although number 34, Eddie Radford, is replacing Nichols at right corner. 3rd down 5. Big play early from McIver on the rollout to the right side. And
it's going to be thrown up.
I started to say he is chased out of bounds, but he pulled up, Preston, just in time before he had to get rid of that. And that was excellent pursuit by Eric Ferguson, the linebacker, who forced him wide. Texas may have to settle for 3 points here.
Excellent pursuit as well as excellent pressure after he got there. McIver is an excellent quarterback on the rollout here. You'll see the pressure coming in off the missed block there. And he has to get rid of the ball. On his part, he's smart enough to throw it away.
Ball is at the 23. Allegre will try a 33-yard field goal, and he got it. He is now 6 of 9 on the season. And Texas, recovering the Eric Dickerson fumble at the 21-yard line, draws first blood as they move in for a 33-yard field goal by number 9, Raul Allegre. 12 minutes, 19 seconds left to play in the first quarter, and Texas has jumped out to an early 3-0 lead. Is that a moral victory for SMU? We'll discuss that in a moment when we come back with the score. Texas 3, SMU nothing. We'll be right back. And brought down at the 18-yard line. Blaine Smith is stopped by Jitter Fields once again, same man who did it before. Now, Preston, the question is, as you see the Longhorn band, is it a moral victory for SMU holding Texas to 3 points when they gave them the ball on the 21?
Well, I think definitely at this point, SMU got out of that with 4 points to their favor. Texas, on the other hand, I believe is still suffering from what has happened to them last week. They're still a little bit shaken. They did not take advantage of the situation they had.
Kovar and James in the backfield in the I. Gene in the slot to the right side. SMU 1st and 10 at its 19. Craig James into the secondary. Number 2 is Hatchett, Mike Hatchett, the cornerback who brings him down with the assistance of Jeff Lighting, number 60. Mike Hatchett, the senior from San Antonio, whose brother, of course, is in the NFL. Derek Hatchett, the former Texas great, as you look at the SMU offensive huddle. 2nd down, 5. James, who has been in the lineup a little bit with Dickerson today, and we'll see more of that. Lee Jean leaves in a 2 tight end formation for SMU on 2nd and 5 at their own 24. And McElhenney on the option, and he's brought down. Probably going to lose some yardage on that.
Well, at this point, Texas is playing very well defensively. And this is the great matchup between these two teams. The SMU offensive line with its great strength and size versus people like Ken Sims and all the rest of these great linebackers, Schultz, Shanklin. And all these people are great athletes to make the Texas defensive line very good.
Craig James comes out of the game, and Dickerson is in as the I back, and Kovar, the fullback, on 3rd down and 5. Play that didn't fool anybody. Bruce Schultz, the senior, number 51, stopping 37 Kovar. You see again that big 77 Sims and 60 Lighting all around the ball, and so SMU will have to kick, and we will see Craig James punt because Eric Kafis, who hurt his knee against Houston last week in SMU's win over the Cougars, is still not able to kick.
Now that was a significant down for this entire game. SMU, I believe, was playing field position if he can get a kickoff here.
Bad kick by James, will come out of bounds at the 35-yard line, got an SMU roll. And so James had a punt that didn't look pretty, but it got the job done. We have 38 yards on that kick. In the air, only 3 seconds. 10 minutes and 23 seconds left to play in the first quarter, with Texas having recovered a fumble and converting it, leading SMU 3-0. There's Ron Meyer, the SMU coach, watching his defense go to work now. Rick McIver at his own 35-yard line with a pitch to Jam Jones, breaking 1 tackle, and finally Russell Washington, 93, and Wes Hopkins, 46, the strong safety, are the men who bring him down.
Let's take a look at AJ here, and he's really running to daylight. Here comes Carter into the picture. He changes and goes the other way, looking for daylight, and does get a few yards out of it. Look at the gang tackling by SMU.
There you see Doug Schenkel talking to Fred Akers, the Texas head coach. And on 2nd and about 5, short play to Carl Robinson, the fullback, gets across the 40. That's going to get 3 yards. Michael Carter, the nose tackle, brings him down. And sooner or later, Preston, we're going to see Texas loosen this thing up. There you see Carl Robinson, the fullback, a junior from Temple. We're going to see Texas loosen it up and throw the ball.
Well, with their quarterback, the way he can throw, they've got to go to the air soon. But the matchup again is offensive line against defensive line.
Maybe this will be the place. 3rd down for Texas. Tight end in motion is Sampleton, and the pitch to Jam Jones. 2 good blocks, but he will not make a first down. Gary Moten, 33. Victor Simon, 97. Leading excellent pursuit by SMU as they stop the sweep and force John Goodson on to kick the ball away.
This is a coach's game right now, Brad. I think both coaches want to go to their strength. They want to establish the ground game with the great backs that each one has. And right now, it's not what you'd call a spectator-type game, but they're establishing what they want to get across the other team.
You saw Blaine Smith deep to receive the punt of John Goodson, who is averaging 42 yards a kick and going for the corner. And boy, this ball is so high it may go out of the hole in the roof.
And he stops
it. Gets it to 2.
Great
and rolls
kick.
out of bounds. What a kick by John Goodson. A 54-yard kick in the air. 4.8 seconds. The senior from Houston has really put SMU in a hole, and he gets congratulations as he comes to the bench.
Significant thing about that punt, Brad, was the fact that it was not only 54 yards, but it had to be up there at least 5-point-something odd seconds.
What do we say, 4.8? Almost 5 seconds.
That is great. Anybody would take that, whether it's high school, college, or pros.
So now with 8:36 left to play in the first quarter, that man, Ron Meyer, trying to figure out what offensive plays to call to get his team out of a geographical hole. They are trailing Texas by a score of 3-0 after a 33-yard field goal by Raul Alegre. And there's the SMU offense, which will be brought in by Lance McElhenney, and we'll have this play beginning in a moment. We'll take a break with the score Texas 3, SMU nothing. We'll be back after this. Second down and 11. They lost a yard back to the 2. Sims, just a magnificent athlete, 6'6", 265 pounds, a senior from Groesbeck. He may play a little football after his collegiate career is over. Second down and 11, 2 wide receivers wide to the right for McElhenney, who gives the ball to James, and he gets him a little running room out to about the 8-yard line. Brought down to the secondary by Graham, number 36, the safety. And on the option, Preston, they use the fullback to pop open a little bit.
Just a quick hitter here, and they're running right at Sims to try to get him off balance one way or the other. And they've got to do this. I believe they've got to stay with this tandem.
You like James and Dickerson together?
I like that backfield. And you'll notice, Brad, this is a complete turnaround for Texas from last week in the field position.
Now it's Kovar in at fullback, 37. Third down, 5, SMU. McElhenney to Dickerson on the option. Pursues and brought down to the 10. He won't get a first down, and what pursuit that is by Graham.
Excellent open field tackle. Excellent. He's got room out here on the pitch out. McElhenney waits until the last second and pitches it out. If you'll notice all the room he's got out here. But watch this tackle coming up here. On the shoe tops, stopped him for the loss. Fourth down.
Graham, number 36, a senior from Silsbee, and somebody missed him on the pursuit. So there is Craig James on 4th and 3 in his own end zone. Texas going to have great field position. Nice kick by James this time. Out past midfield, pushing Rob Morshell.
Got some room.
Back, and he's on the roll up to the 41-yard line. Morshell was a quarterback at Highland Park. And this week, with Herky Walls in a slump, Rob Morshell, number 8, returning punts. And that was a 50-yard kick by James, but it was an 18-yard return by Rob Morshell.
It was not covered very well, Brad. It was not covered very well. The punt wasn't, and allowed the receiver to get up the field a lot further than he should have.
3-0 Texas, 6:39 to play in the first quarter, and the Longhorns in great shape at the SMU 41 to begin the drive. McIver, 2 fakes, still has it, throws, almost intercepted by Russell Washington. First man to have the ball in his hands was the fullback, Carl Robinson. And then Russ Washington, the junior defensive end from Fort Worth Wyatt, almost picked it up, Preston, on the deflection. So it'll be 2nd and 10, but SMU, of course, has really stayed unbeaten this year by making the big turnover. They lead the league in interceptions.
That's exactly right, and they are an opportunistic team. They've got good personnel, and that particular play there was because the wide receiver was covered very well downfield by the outside cornerback and allowed the quarterback just enough time not to throw.
2nd down, 10. Texas at the Pony 41. McIver on the option, throwing, caught by Donnie Little, but out of bounds. Donnie Little, last year's Texas quarterback, and he just was not quite able to come down in bounds. It'll be 3rd down and 10, but you like the block out in front of McIver on the rollout.
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I thought McIver should have run the football. I think he could have picked up pretty close to a first down if he had run.
So 2 big defensive plays for SMU, but they got another one now. Texas with just tremendous field position after the punt by Goodson and the punt by James. 3rd and 10 at the Mustang 41 for the Longhorns, who lead by a field goal. McIver On the give to Jam Jones. Sweep right. And he will not get a first down. And tremendous pursuit by Roy Douglas, number 91, who gets congratulations on the sideline. Senior defensive end from Nacogdoches. We are really seeing, Preston, both teams play the pursuit on the end run very well today.
Very good. Both teams are playing very well. I really feel that Jam could have gotten more out of this. I think the intensity that's being played here, he just could have slipped through right there. It was a shirt jersey type tackle. I think he could have gone for 15 more yards if he had gotten by that tackle.
Oh, Goodson, who had a superhuman punt a little bit ago, will try again, aiming for the corner again. Last time he kicked, he pushed SMU out of bounds on the 3.
It's going to go in.
But this time it goes into the end zone, and the Mustangs dodge another bullet with a pretty good defensive effort. And there will be critics who will wonder if Fred Akers ran his second down play on third down. But that's what football is all about. 6 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Our score is Texas 3 and SMU nothing. We'll be right back. He has 7 yards. Look at the statistical comparisons. Neither team has a first down yet, and before that play was run, Texas had 18 yards of total offense to 17 for SMU, and every yard in the game on the ground. James had 8 yards that time. It'll be second down 2, and Dickerson, interesting to note, the leading rusher in the Southwest Conference, 4 carries for a -3 yards so far. Kovar and James behind that man, 11 McElhenney at the 28-yard line of SMU. James runs into his own man. He'll be close to a first down. First down of the game for the Mustangs, if indeed they got it, and Bill Bagan says they did.
Ron Meyer at this point is setting up the fullback position. With Craig James in there, that makes him a lot more versatile, and I'm certain that he's going to bring Mr. Dickerson back in here and go with that tandem of Dickerson and James.
45, Lee Jean, replacing Bobby Leach as the wingback as he brings in the play. Jackie Wilson started line up the wrong side, now splits left, and McElhenney has to call timeout, and the main reason is that the man at the top of your screen now, 85, Jackie Wilson, didn't have the formation right. And so SMU is going to have to talk things over a little bit and try to get straightened out. The cablecast rights of this telecast are authorized under television rights granted to KXTX TV 39 by Southern Methodist University, and is solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of this game without the express written consent of TV 39 or the Southern Methodist University Athletic Department is prohibited. Brad Sham and Preston Pearson at Texas Stadium. We're going to have very close to a full house, although there are some upper deck end zone seats on both sides that are still available. 5:15 left in the first quarter, with Texas leading 3-0. If you joined us late, the Longhorns recovered an early SMU fumble by Eric Dickerson on the SMU 21-yard line. There's Bevo, Texas mascot. And SMU's defense was able to shut Texas down for a couple of plays, but Raul Alegre got him a 33-yard field goal. So now 1st and 10 for the Ponies. They have just made the first down by either side in the game. On the 31-yard line, Kovar and James, and it's James. And he gets another 4. Running right up the pipe.
Brad, they're running right at Mr. Sims right now. And let's take a look at Harnett, number 77, going up against Kenneth Sims. He's got him stood up. Counterplay. They're making Mr. Sims go one way or the other, and the back is running the daylight.
4 yards for James. He has 32 on 6 carries. Second down 6, less than 5 minutes left in the first quarter now. McElhenney may be changing the play. Clock running down. McElhenney to throw for the first time. Great block from the fullback and from James, and he dodges, and he will be close to but will not have a first down. Fine block by James on the roll. Mark Weber and Mike Hatchett made the stops, and as we look at it again, Preston, we got to watch the blocks by the fullback 37 and the tailback 32.
Notice the linemen have turned their men to the inside, or rather to the outside, and McElhenney right there is in trouble a little bit, and he's got to run anyway. Can't really throw off balance, running away from everything, running for your life.
What a great ad-lib block by James to take out Lighting. Now McElhenney faces a 3rd and 1. Dickerson and Drayton are the I-backs. Charles Drayton for the first time. Dickerson diving close. We'll wait for the indication. as they unstack everything, and it's a first down. Dickerson is still going to be in the minus category, but he got him another first down.
Any short down situation has to go to the lineman. The lineman has got to do their jobs up front so that these backs can get up into the air. Dickerson coming down with the first down.
And one of the big blocks you saw right at the end of the play there, the little wingback, Lee Jean, came in and moved out a couple of secondary people. Let Dickerson have room. SMU has 2 first downs in the drive. There's James
there he is.
From fullback, and he's got 8 more.
That's the key position for SMU right now, Brad. They're just a quick opener, trying to make Sims or these defensive linemen take one side or the other. SMU has big people up front, and all they've got to do with a quick hitter like that is to give him one side or the other, and he's taking it.
Looks like Hartnett is just putting a little influence block on Sims to move him just a little bit out of the way. Again, James and Dickerson together, and it's James from fullback, and he's got a first down or very close to it. You want to talk about that a little bit? Well, that guard doesn't really have to obliterate Sims, does he? There's Perry Hartnett, 77 in the blue. He's just got to get Sims leading enough one way for James to find room.
With his size, with Perry Hartnett's size, 6'5", 290 or better, he and Mr. Sims match up very well in terms of strength and size. So in this case, what he's got to do is make Sims take one side or the other, or get into him enough, long enough, so his backs can take whatever daylight's available. You don't have to blow somebody out or completely destroy a defensive player to make it a successful block. Right now, at this point, Mr. Arnett is winning this battle.
At the Texas 48, SMU in Texas territory, first time, foot in the fake to Drayton, and McElhenney trying to keep on the option, in tremendous pursuit by Lighting, and the left end Eric Holly break that down. SMU will lose 2 yards. Boy, they were quick to react. They did not give McElhenney time to even think about the pitch out as an option.
Not much room at all there, and they really were concentrating pretty much on the pitch out at that point in order to stop it like that. And SMU's first time they got across midfield out of their own territory.
Now they're right at midfield, 2nd and 12. 2:10 left in the first quarter. Sun's starting to come out. Option, McElhenney will throw for the first time.
Wide open. First down.
Lee Jean, the wing back.
I believe he's got the first down, Brad, on momentum, or close to it.
Graham and Johnson, the safeties, made the stop. A 12-yard gain. And we'll have to wait and see if they spotted a first down.
The play is actually made possible by the fake. It draws all the linebackers in tight. McElhenney rolling out, and this man is wide open. And gets an extra 3 yards on his own. Good tackle. Good extension.
Bumped off one safety and came up on the other. They're going to bring the chain out now. McElhenney has hit his first pass of the day for 12 yards. McIver is 0 for 3, throwing the ball for the Longhorns. And SMU got another first down. That's 4 in this drive. Funny that Texas doesn't have a first down in the game yet, but they lead it 3-0. Less than 2 minutes in the quarter now, and the clock running. SMU doing this mostly on the ground and mostly with a fullback, and frequently that's been Craig James. Now James at tailback behind Kovar. Wilson and Jean go wide to the left, as you see McElhenney. First down and 10. James strung out and stopped. The first hit was made by 31 Kiki Diayala, the defensive end, and he moves like a linebacker. He had help from Schultz, but Diayala 6'1", 228, a junior out of Houston, number 31, watching.
Actually, the block wasn't there. It was all clogged up from the very beginning. Each defensive player had stood his man up and was actually waiting for James to go one way or the other. So there's really nothing there on that particular play.
Loss of 4, 2nd down, 14. James down to 38 yards now with a loss of 4. I formation, James and Kovar. Play fake to James. Blitz coming, and Sims batted it down. And the blitz was coming from Bobby Johnson, number 28, the strong safety. That made McElhenney hurry the throw, and big 77 got a paw up there.
He's hurting a bit.
And he may have taken that ball right in the helmet, as a matter of fact.
We could get that on replay. Sims may have caught it in the helmet or near the neck area.
And he's had a bad neck all week.
That's what I believe the problem may have come from. May have hurt him a little bit more and aggravated an injury he already had. Here he is holding his head here. Actually, the receiver was coming open, Brad. If he had gotten it past the line of scrimmage, it would have been a completion.
Now 3rd and 14. No No blitz fake this time. High formation give to James, and he's bottled up across the 40, but still breaks down near the 35-yard line. Broke out of the tackle of John Haynes, who has come in at right tackle.
3rd down and 14. I would guess that Meyer is going here for a field position, either to back them up even more or to try to get in a position where his field goal man can come in and give it an attempt. It's a long one.
Well, Eddie Garcia is in. You won't find Eddie right there, but you may be better off looking there. There's Eddie. His longest field goal ever, 53 yards. This ball is spotted at the 44. It'll be a 54-yard try.
He's got it. He's got it.
He may be short.
Just a foot short.
Just fell short. 54-yard try by Garcia. Just fell short. If that had been 52 yards, this game would have been tied. So Garcia just short on 54 yards. And with just 15 seconds left to play in the first quarter, the game will stay the same. Texas 3, SMU nothing, as the Longhorns will take over on downs. But timeout is going to be called.
Good football game so far, Brad. No penalties. Each team playing pretty much to their strengths. I think we're going to see a good one all the way through, just like we're seeing right now.
We invite you to join hosts Jane Kennedy and Paul Horning and the superstars of the sports world on Weekend Heroes, a brand new sports talk show every Saturday night at 9:30. You can meet the superstars that include Don Meredith, Ken Singleton, Jerry Cooney, Earl Weaver, and many others. The show is Weekend Heroes every Saturday night at 9:30 right here on TV 39. 15 seconds left to play in the first quarter as the SMU cheerleaders and the Texas Brain Trust work on what to do next. SMU missing a 54-yard field goal and not missing it much. And there's Rick McIver, the Texas quarterback, the junior from Fort Stockton. He's protecting a 3-0 lead. The SMU defense has been stingy so far. They've given up 18 yards rushing and nothing in the air. Now we got a reverse to the wide receiver, Ronnie Mullins from Plano, and he will be brought down after maybe a gain of a yard. Excellent pursuit, as you see Mullins. The great pursuit by Simon and Carter. That was a gadget play that didn't work.
He's just going in motion to try to get himself some momentum going towards the line of scrimmage, but out here's Mr. Washington waiting on him. Turns him back inside for a short gain.
97 was Simon, who really did a good job of not taking the block of the fullback Robinson. And the first quarter is over as the teams change ends. We'll be ready for the second quarter in just a moment with our score, Texas 3, SMU nothing. We'll be right back. He is getting some attention from his teammate Harvey Armstrong, and the man in the red sweater is Cash Birdwell, SMU's trainer. Eric Moore has come in to replace him, number 92, as you see the Longhorns back up after the penalty. And look at the way the possessions have run, which is to show you why the score is just 3-0 after the walk-off against Texas. Texas has started possessions, Preston, at the SMU 21, at its own 35, at the SMU 41, at its own 37. Really not bad field position, and they're only 3-0 up. SMU has started at its own 19, its own 19, its own 3, and its own 20, and it's only 3-0 against them.
Well, that's pretty indicative of the score. It could have gone either way. Texas got a break in the fumble, and they took it in for 3 points. For SMU, it was a moral victory that Texas only got 3 points. But so far, I think the game has been played very well, up to at least the expectations that both coaches believe they have in talent.
SMU cheerleaders with a little cooperation from the Texas cheerleaders. That's the great thing about college football. Everybody can really be friendly. Except out there. 2nd down and 13 for Texas after the penalty. Sampleton, tight end, now lines up to the left side. Here comes motion from Mullins and the pitch to Walker. And he is upended. Good penetration by 34 Radford, the cornerback, forcing, and he helped Victor Simon, 97, make the tackle.
Playing very well, both teams. That was an excellently set up play. It did not gain close, not near what it looked like it should have turned out to get.
The thing that impresses me most about this game so far, frankly, is the SMU defense.
Playing very well. The coordinated efforts that the coaches have put together is showing right here.
They got an extra defensive back in now on 3rd and 12. McIver to throw on the rollout. Now elects to keep. and he'll be stopped short of a first down. He almost had it, but he was pursued by Kevin Chaney and Roy Douglas and Gary Moten. There's McIver, who will have to come out, and Goodson will kick.
It's a rollout pattern pass, and most teams that play SMU are going to roll out on him. He's set to throw here, but obviously the coverage downfield says to him, no, don't do it. He's going to take a pretty good lick here, right in the rib area, and I'm sure Fred Akers doesn't want to see that very often.
There's Goodson, who's had 2 good kicks, and gets this one away a mile high. And it's going to bounce straight up. And Texas Curry, number 5, watches it roll to the sideline inside the 20. Another fine kick by Goodson. This one 38 yards, but in the air 4.4 seconds. So there's John Goodson, who comes out giving the Longhorns good defensive field position once again. SMU will start this drive at its own 17. They have really been bottled up. First quarter, total offense 89 yards for SMU and 90 yards for Texas. It just couldn't be much closer than that. First down 10, 13:30 in the first half. SMU down by 3. And McElhenney will go to Dickerson, and there's not much there.
And you know something, Brad? I believe Mr. Kenneth Sims is not in the ball game presently.
Well, we'll scan the sideline, try to find it, but Texas would miss Big 77 if he were not in there. Of course, he has had the bad neck.
We've got another young man in there that's not what you'd call a piece of stick himself. He's pretty good size.
There is Sims on the sideline, so Ralph Darnell, 94, is listed as his backup. But it looks like it's John Haynes who is in there in left tackle. McElhenney still got it. Buried. It may have been a broken play.
As we'll see here, even without Kenneth Sims, pressure is still being applied to McElhenney and the rest of the SMU team, and he's got no place really to go here.
That's Mike Buchanan, 92, who had come in at right defensive end. Now you see Lee Jean bring the play in. But Lighting was the man who first broke the play down. Texas now has Mark Weber and John Haynes at the defensive tackles. And Haynes is the one who has replaced Sims, who is out with a neck injury. McElhenney looks up and sees 1 second left on the 25-second clock and has to use SMU's second time out of the half. And McElhenney very upset. I've seen other number 11s walk off upset under the same kinds of circumstances. We got 12:15 left to play in the first half, and our score, Texas 3, SMU nothing. We'll be right back. Down 3-0. Facing third and about 13 from their own 14-yard line. McElhenney changing the play, wing-back motion. Bedford goes with him. He's still got it. There's the pitch to Dickerson, and there goes the speed, and he's bumped out. He may be short of the first down. No, he got the first down.
He did get the first down.
Boy, the speed of that kid is really something. Doug Schenkel, number 48, came up from middle linebacker to knock him out. But, I mean, 2 things, Preston, on that play. You see McElhenney with an uncanny sense of hanging on to the ball. And Dickerson in the open field. Good night.
McElhenney was the key there. He let the ball go at the last moment, and then you saw the kind of athlete that Eric Dickerson is, and I'm just totally impressed with him, have been all year.
Now Dickerson is in plus yardage, 13 yards on 7 carries. 1st and 10 SMU, and there is Drayton. Jeff Lighting brings him down. I'm sorry, that's not Drayton, it's Dickerson again. He's in the lineup with Kovar, and he is brought down by Lighting. We'll repeat for you now that Texas, as you look at the SMU offense, Texas has Kenneth Sims on the bench getting some attention for what we presume to be an aggravation of the pinched nerve in his neck. And so they are working with Mark Weber and John Haynes as the defensive tackles. 2 tight ends for SMU on 2nd down and 5. Texas gets back, pitch to Dickerson. Look at the cutbacks. Stiff arm, close to a first down.
He's a runner, Brad. He's a runner. He's a ball player. Whatever labels that were given to him, he has left him go. He's lost his shirt again, and he goes off the field. Watch his quickness. Watch his athletic ability here. Cutting back inside. Watch the feet. Super. You can't teach that to people. Outruns him, sticks out an arm, and he's got an additional 4 or 5 yards. You can't teach people how to run that way. He's got the athletic ability, and he knows it.
Seeing all that and seeing that SMU just missed the first down, Kenneth Sims returns to the defensive lineup. Ed Williams in at left defensive end for Eric Holly. Big play for SMU. 3rd down 1. And they'll go to James, and he got it. First down across the 40. Buchanan, number 92, made the stop, but behind the block of 63, Steve Stanley and Craig James picked up the first down.
Craig James is a very good runner. He runs very well to daylight. Just picking his hole, picking places to go that the defensive people are not. That's very simple, but it's very difficult to do. Easily said, but difficult to do.
Texas still doesn't have a first down, but they still have the lead. SMU now has 5 first downs. McElhenney has Dickerson in the eye. Leach goes in motion. Long count, option play. Boom! Oh, man. Ed Williams, number 83, a sophomore from Odessa, 6'4", 215 pounds. Did he react to that or what?
He caught the young man pretty high, pretty good pop, and I'm sure that McElhenney will remember that one and try to do something about it. That stings.
Well, that's just linebacker quickness from a stand-up end, or rather the 3-point down end, 83, Ed Williams. 4-man front for the Longhorns. Loss of 4 on the play, 2nd and 14. 2 tight ends for SMU. Sims has moved to right tackle, and McElhenney on the reverse to the wingback, Gene. Good block from Stanley. And Gene will be up near the 50-yard line before he is driven out of bounds, and now a flag. And this is going to be probably a late hit on Texas over on the sideline. Watch number 45,
play.
Gene.
Gain of 12 yards off the play. If we can get a shot of this on our replay, we'll notice that the blocks that are being made are the key factors here, along with the speed. McElhenney hides the ball very well, and the end's coming around. This gentleman here, number 92, is going to get shot out of there by a lineman. There you saw him. And now it's all speed from this point on. And I think we'll see the late hit coming in. It was all arm up around the head, and I think that's what it was. Not necessarily a late hit, just that his arm and hand caught him up near the head.
And the man who did it was Kenneth Sims, number 77.
And you can imagine.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What kind of hit that was to the head and how it might hurt.
Personal foul against Texas, number 77, Sims, and so that was a big one because it puts SMU at the Longhorn 35-yard line. This is their deepest penetration. 10 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the half. Texas still leading 3-0. Dickerson and James together behind McElhenney. James is the fullback. And we got a broken play and flags everywhere as McElhenney throws incomplete.
Almost got him incomplete at that point, but McElhenney threw the ball up in the air the way all coaches and players on your side don't like to see. That should not happen at any time. He threw it across his body while he was in trouble.
That's what Ron Meyer's telling him right now, but that play was broken from the beginning. We had motion, I think, on SMU, and you could see McElhenney run into James as the play unfolded. But wait a minute, this may not be on SMU. Bill Bagan, the referee, is talking to, it is going to be against the Ponies, all right. Talking to Kenneth Sims. Say, where do you want it, young man? They're going to walk this one off against the Ponies.
Question for you, Brad.
Sir.
Why is Kenneth Sims going from left tackle, which has been his usual position, to right tackle?
Maybe because, as you see the walk-off against SMU for illegal use of the hands, maybe because, this is just a guess, but maybe they would rather have him trying to fight Joe Beard than Perry Hartnett. Beard has had a bad ankle throughout the season. He weighs 238. Hartnett weighs 290. That might have something to do with it.
If I were the other tackle, Mr. Mark Weaver, I'd ask why. Why don't you stay over there on your side? You take that punishment from Hartnett.
Sims has moved to right tackle, and the deep back Dickerson turning the corner. And he comes out of bounds across the 35 at the 33, forced out by William Graham, the safety. 10-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down 8.
Here we have have Dickerson coming out on the typical running play. He's running to daylight, nothing off tackle, so he's got to come outside. Watch him turn on the speed down the sideline here and take on another defender.
But you know what? Forget everything. Holding against SMU.
Forget it all. Wipe it all out.
Oh, SMU with its first 2 penalties of the game on the last 2 plays.
Kenneth Sims, in my opinion, wants to come out of the ball game. After each play, he's looking towards the sideline. He's walking around with a limp at this point. And when you get a player that's looking to the sidelines to get some help from the coaches, either he's hurting so bad that he's looking to get help, or he knows he can't do the job properly. And I think he really needs to be spelled right now, or either be taken out of the ball game completely until he regains his concentration and composure.
Well, SMU had a real break down to the 35-yard line on the personal foul against Sims on that wingback reverse a couple of moments ago, and now with 2 consecutive holding penalties, they've blown that right out of the tub and lost it. Ayala comes back in at right end, replacing Buchanan. Dickerson and James together in the eye, and it's now 1st and 25 after consecutive penalties.
He's got to go to the air.
And he will. After a play fake, McElhenney under pressure, running out of the pressure. Shakes off a couple of folks. He got all the way down to the 43-yard line before Schenkel brought him down. But remember, he's got to go down to the 25 to get a first down.
Straight drop back pass, doing a little faking to try to hold the linebackers, setting up the throw, but there's nothing there, so he's got to take off. And he's a pretty good runner. Good feet, good legs. Time to get down as a quarterback, though. When you get in trouble like that, all coaches, head coaches especially, want the quarterbacks to get down and take whatever little gain they may get.
Gain of 7, 2nd down 18. 9:21 to play in the half. Texas leading 3-0. Another play fake, wants to throw. Overthrows Craig James wide open at the 35-yard line. He had beaten the linebacker, Doug Schenkel.
And he had him open, too, out here. Just slightly overthrown. Craig James would have gotten, I believe, the first down because there was no one else there in front of him or outside of him. The other people were driven deep, trying to cover the outside people.
SMU does not throw to its backs a lot. Matter of fact, Dickerson's only caught 1 pass all year, and James coming in has caught only 5. So now after the incompletion, you're looking at 3rd down and 18. SMU at the Texas 43.
Blitz coming up. There he is, wide open from the blind side.
They've got his sack. Bruce Schultz, the linebacker, 51, knifed in and got him on the blitz.
The linebacker came in from McElhenney's right side as he was rolling out to his left, so he really didn't get a chance to see him until he was about to set up. By that time, it was too late.
Schultz, a senior from Austin. Big young man at 6'6" and 230 pounds, and now Craig James will kick it away to Rob Morshell, the freshman from Highland Park. And a good kick by James, line drive.
Going to be returned.
Morshell at the 14. Gets away from a couple of folks and comes back out to the 25. So it'll be a return of 11 yards after a 35-yard kick, only in the air 2.7 seconds. And SMU really kind of missing its punter, Eric Kafis, although James is doing a respectable job. We've got 8 minutes, 34 seconds left to play in the half, and our score remains Texas 3, SMU nothing. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's not the kind of game that these 50 or 55,000 people are going to have a lot to talk about, but it's a good football game.
2nd down 7. Robinson got 3. Little wide to the right for McIver. And they give to the tailback, Jones. He got just a few. Jam Jones, the senior from Youngstown, Ohio, number 24. Brought down by Gary Moten and Kevin Chaney. There you see McIver. Kevin Chaney, by the way, is leaving the field now. He had replaced Richard Neely. Now Neely from Highland Park comes back in. 3rd down 3 for the Longhorns.
And you get the feeling, Brad, that everybody's waiting for something big and explosive to happen. You're coming so close every time, each team.
3rd down 3, I formation. And they give to Walker, to Jones, rather, and he may have the first down of the game. Richard Neely.
They've got their first down, I believe.
Made the stop, and Jam Jones, sure enough, has just picked up the first down for the Longhorns.
Let's see if we can see Michael Carter jump here. He knows exactly where he's got to go. If he hadn't stood up then, so high that they could just continue to knock him backwards. He may have been in a position to stop that play.
Texas has but 31 yards total offense to this point, but they lead 3-0. Quick give to Robinson. Harvey Armstrong down on him in a hurry.
Big, strong Michael Carter just holding things up right there in the middle.
Well, you know, he really just clogs up blockers, doesn't he? And sometimes he doesn't make the tackle because he's drawing the attention of 2 and 3 blocks, and somebody else comes in there and makes the stop, but it's Carter who really makes it happen.
That's what's called teamwork. One guy takes care of his job, and then the others should come in there and clean up.
2nd down, 7. Little coming in motion. And the give goes to Jam Jones, and he is stopped by a fabulous play by 93 Russ Washington. Trailing from the defensive right end. Watch 93, the junior from Wyatt High School in Fort Worth.
Coming from the right-hand side, he's already on the bead. He's got him inside and runs him down. Good speed.
His teammates call him Boo-Boo. But there was no boo-boo about that play.
Excellent play.
SMU getting good play out of its ends all year. Now 3rd and 8 for the Longhorns. Little goes wide to the left. And McCloney comes wide to the right. McIver to throw. Blitz coming.
Look out.
Got it. On the blitz, Wes Hopkins, 46, the strong safety.
Came from a long ways too, Brad.
A long ways. He was in downtown Dallas when he started. Wes Hopkins, one of the big play men in the SMU secondary. McIver was trying to make up the yardage. And Hopkins comes in with the 29th quarterback sack of the year for SMU, and they lead the league in that statistic. Texas still has no passing yardage. And Goodson, who's had a fine day kicking, gets away a high one. This will bring rain. Blaine Smith lets it go. Oh, he got lucky. Did he get lucky? Smith let it hit at the 20. Oh, the ball jumped out of bounds, I thought. The official is going to take it all the way down to the 12. I thought that ball had skittered out of bounds immediately. So I take it back. Smith did not get lucky.
Well, it certainly looked like it skidded out of bounds up here, Brad. Our angle is not the best in the world. In any case, they're going to be starting out about their 12, 14-yard line.
And look at the kick, a 57-yard kick by Goodson in the air, 4.9 seconds.
He almost had that thing blocked back there. Way back.
They had a big rush on, which is one reason Smith didn't return it, because they had 3 men coming hard on the rush. That ball looked like it went out of bounds after it hit at the 20-yard line. You judge for yourself as we see the replay. Now watch where it lands. There's the red stripe there is the 20-yard line. Here's Blaine Smith. He says, I'm going to let it go. It bounces. Well, we can't quite see because the critical thing is where the sideline area is. But Preston, from here, it looked like it had gone out of bounds, but it's going to roll back to the 12.
Well, you would think that from the angle that the receiver had coming in our direction towards the sideline, and from the angle that the ball was taking, it was going to roll in that direction. However, in football, with the shape of the ball, you never know which direction it's going to go or end up in.
SMU, 1st down and 10 now at their own 13. They've had rotten field position all night. McElhenney looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And he'll give to James. And fine coverage from the secondary. Mike Hatchett made the stop, but Kiki Diayala, the defensive end, 31, was the guy who really stopped it on Craig James.
Really no room at all for Craig to go here. And we got a man, we can't see it here, but we got number 2, Ayala, standing here waiting for him, and another gentleman that trips him up. Really no place to go. An audible situation that really didn't turn out to be any good at all for SMU.
James has 51 yards rushing, and Dickerson 27. 2 tight ends, SMU, 2nd and 7. Play fake. Got a man open. Almost intercepted. He was going for Bobby Leach in double coverage, and the man who almost intercepted the ball was William Graham, the safety. He and Vance Bedford, 41. You see him right there. We're back in double coverage on Leach, and when the ball was at its apex, Leach was open, but the coverage from Graham, the free safety, was excellent.
Graham was there doing his job as a free safety. That's his job, to get back there, cover either side of the field. When the ball was put up in the air, he turns and has to get to that ball exactly the way he did it. It could have been an interception.
Keep in mind that Leach has had some leg problems the last couple of weeks as well. And on 3rd down and 7, it'll be James and Dickerson together. James at fullback. Wing back motion. Whistle blows.
Get it off.
Pitch goes, and we're going to have a flag for delay of game. I don't think he got the play off.
There's a penalty. He's got a penalty. I'm not so sure about that one, Brad.
Flag is against SMU.
Well, I think we got a late hit here.
Which, yeah, the first flag was against SMU. What I meant. Now we're going to have a convention. Everybody gets a vote. We have a meeting of the committee of the whole.
Offsetting penalties, in my opinion, at this point.
There's Kiki de Ayala doing a little lobbying, easy for you to say, lobbling. Walk off against the Ponies.
Well,
back to the 10-yard line. Let's see what Bill Bagan calls. Delay of game against SMU, and that's all they're going to call.
Well, I guess in that case, after the whistle was blown, the first penalty called is the one they executed because it becomes a dead ball.
Look at Ron Meyer. He's all the way out of the field trying to call time, for crying out loud. And they're not. Why are they not letting him have it? He's got one left. There's Fred Akers.
Well, now here we're going to have this discussion.
Meyer wants to talk to Bagan. He wants to say, just a minute now, Mr. Whitehat. Ron Meyer all the way out in the field. He says, your man came over and told me one thing, and I don't completely understand what he told me. So you want to explain to me why the flag was dropped after the play had been whistled dead, and you are not going to walk that off against the folks in the white suits. I believe that's probably what Meyer is saying to him.
I would guess that's what it's all about here. Now, I'm not certain on the rulings on this, Brad, but if the coach calls them over on a timeout like this and they get into a discussion, if he loses, I believe there is some kind of a penalty that can be instituted on the coach and on that team. It's something like a 5-yard penalty if he loses his case. 9 times out of 10, coaches aren't going to win. Let's see if this penalty that I believe is
well,
there.
he did win. Meyer was saying it should be a 5-yard walk-off against SMU and a 15-yard walk-off against Texas because of 2 dead ball fouls.
And he was right.
And he was right, and he changed the referee's mind.
I haven't seen that in a long time. A very long time.
Boy, the next thing you know, the sun will come up in the west.
Well.
Now, Fred Akers is going to say something in a minute when he walks this ball off. Now we're going to have the discussion to the Longhorns. And again, Meyer was saying you should have a 5-yard walk-off against SMU for delay of game and a 15-yard walk-off the other way because they're both dead ball fouls. And by golly, if he didn't convince Bill Bagan that that's how it ought to be. And the referee changed his mind. There is one beast of burden who could care less.
He has no care whatsoever. Play your game, guys.
Bevo says, I love you vegetarians, and I don't really care. Here's the walk-off against the Longhorns.
Now, you've got to give credit to SMU, Ron Meyer in particular, who chose to take his option. That is to challenge the officials and the so-called ruling they made. Now you can see here, Fred Akers. He's going to challenge. Now we have another discussion.
Now the only negative, now Fred Akers is going to call timeout because he wants Bagan to explain it to him.
That's exactly right, and I don't blame him one bit.
So we have the National Debating Society sponsoring today's game, and Akers is hot. The only negative for SMU was they had to use their 3rd timeout for Meyer to talk to Bagan.
And that could be costly, Brad, down the line. We've got over 4 minutes to play in this first half.
Well, SMU has used all its timeouts, and Texas has just used one for Akers to talk to Bagan.
That could be significant somewhere down the line with 4 minutes to go, and that's a lifetime. You can win 5 or 6 ball games in 4 minutes.
And when we get through with all this, Meyer has got a very interesting offensive formation in the ball game. He's got 2 wide receivers. There's Lance McElhenney. He says, are we going to play or what? Are we going to watch you guys talk or are we going to play? Ron Meyer has sent in Dickerson and James together, and he also has 2 wide receivers. There's Fred Akers, who has had things explained. Perhaps not to his satisfaction, but he has had them explained. To recap, once again, we had 2 dead ball fouls, and they were not going to call the 15-yard personal foul penalty against Texas, the flag for which was thrown after play had been stopped for delay of game. Well, Ron Meyer used a timeout, convinced the referee that he was right, and a walk-off puts the ball for SMU at their own 25, and here's James, and all that for a yard. How anticlimactic.
It seems like we have been at that spot for the last 25 minutes. And start it all over, first down, and Craig James gets nothing.
Now we're going to get two tight ends come into the game, Bolden and Rivas. As you see to the right of your picture, as Ricky Bolden, the sophomore from Dallas Hillcrest, gives the play to McElhenney, and the two wide receivers, Wilson and Jean, leave the game. One wide receiver in, two tight ends. Still Dickerson and James in the I formation, 2nd and 8. Play fake. Oh, what a great play by Bobby Johnson, number 28, to sniff out the fake on the wingback reverse and drop McElhenney. Johnson, 28, saw it coming and broke it up.
Well, look, unfortunately, we're going to have to watch McElhenney take a pretty good hit here. And I think that it was a broken play because he probably wanted to hand that ball off. With Johnson right there in his face, he thought better of it. He took the hit himself. Probably a smart play on his part, because if he had gotten both of them back there in the backfield and caused a fumble, Texas obviously would have been at least in good field position if they'd gotten a recovered fumble.
Bobby Johnson, senior from LaGrange, Texas, very well coached, as is SMU. On 3rd and 17, Dickerson gets nothing. This is a great defensive struggle. Bruce Schultz and Eric Holly on the stop, and Craig James, the substitute punter, will have to do his work again. There goes Dickerson, who now has 10 carries for 29 yards. He has really been bottled up, the conference's leading rusher.
And Schultz, 6'3", 235 pounds, put the wood to him that time. Let him know he was there.
There's James on to punt. 4th down and 15. Line drive kick. He is not getting any height on his punch. Morshell at his own 35 to run it back. Breaks a tackle, breaks another one, and comes to midfield. He is finally stopped up at midfield. And the man who finally came and got him after a 17-yard return was Kit Case, number 44. Number 8, the freshman quarterback from Highland Park, Rob Morshell. And again, Preston, Texas has very good field position.
Very good. And again, that was Morshell's running on his own part. Excellent feet, picked his own holes, set up some people, dipped and dodged here and there, and he got pretty good field position out of that. About an 18-yard return, I believe.
Texas leading the game 3-0. We have just 2 minutes, 21 seconds left to play in the first half, and we'll be back in just a moment. At the 50-yard line, Texas takes over after an SMU punt. McIver to Jam Jones. He's stopped by Harvey Armstrong. Maybe got a yard.
Boy, aren't they hitting out there, playing good defensive football on both parts?
Preston said it earlier, this may not be the most exciting, flashy, fan-oriented game, but if you are a football purist, you love it. If you're the Texas band, it's okay because you're ahead 3-0. 2nd down 8. Little wide to the left. McCloney wide to the, make it little wide to the right. Play fake. They picked up the blitz. McIver's got a man.
One-on-one down there.
That should be offensive pass interference on Maurice McCloney. No flag, but McCloney clearly fell all over Eddie Radford, the cornerback. But give the Texas line credit, because Wes Hopkins was coming on the blitz, and they picked him up and took him out of the play. Radford was interfered with, in our judgment, by McCloney, but no flag, and it just goes as an incompletion. Did you think he was interfered with?
Well, I think he was interfered with, but in that particular case, they're probably going to call incidental contact, which means nothing. They won't throw a flag on that particular play, but on the blitz, when it was picked up, that means it's man-on-man downfield. That's an excellent situation, and Texas has got to take advantage of that.
3rd down 8 for the Longhorns at the SMU 48-yard line. McIver to throw. No blitz. Caught. Carl Robinson just does get a first down. Robinson, the fullback, is the leading receiver on this Longhorn team, and the junior from Temple makes a big play for Texas. Maybe got a first down.
We can see Robinson come out of the backfield here versus no blitz. McIver is taking advantage of whatever situation that there is, throwing to his back, and he's going to gain 10. I believe he got 10 yards out of that particular play.
Well, they are going to say 4th down, and SMU, or rather Texas, is going to call time to talk it over. Robinson tried to reach the ball over the 40-yard line, which is where they have to go for the first down. And the official said, no, not quite. So now it's decision time for the Longhorns, and we invite you to join TV 39 each weeknight at 10:30 for the Frank Gleber Cowboy Report. You'll see interviews, highlights, and a behind-the-scenes look at the Cowboys throughout the season. Frank Gleber Cowboy Report, weeknights at 10:30 here on TV 39. We have 1:17 left to play in the first half, and the Texas Longhorns, who are third in the Southwest Conference in total offense with 380-plus yards a game, have only 44 yards of total offense thus far, and they have to decide whether to go for this first down, and it appears that that's the decision Fred Akers has made. You could see there a moment ago the graphic on the series standing, but what's important now is the real estate. 4th and a yard, Texas will go for it. Last 2 minutes of the first half, McIver on the quarterback sneak has it easily.
They really, Brad, at this point don't have any choice. They did not have any choice in this case. They had to go for it. They're on the 40. If they don't make it, then SMU will take over with 60 yards to go and with a minute 15 seconds. So they really didn't have any choice, and I would have gone for that at any day, any time.
Now, just for the heck of it, they're going to measure. But surely he got the first down. I'll be shocked if they rule McIver short on this. Now he's got it. First down, Longhorns at the SMU 40. Boy, the yards are coming tough. The defensive coaching staffs of both teams really to be congratulated.
Both teams offensively must take advantage of whatever situations the opponent gives them. In this case right here, the quarterback here has got to go to the short backs, as he did 2 plays ago.
Only 2 first downs in the game for Texas. McIver wants to throw on first down. Freelancing, gets away from Douglas and is pounded out by Washington, 93. Well, he had all day to run around back there, draw up the blueprint, and build him a bathhouse.
If we can get the replay on this, if we can watch the eyes of both the quarterback and who's it, Robinson?
Carl Robinson,
Carl Robinson,
number 44.
I believe he was looking to go to him in the first place, and you could see there they were looking and talking to one another as they came back to the huddle.
There you see the time left, 57 seconds. SMU's defense rising to the occasion again. Loss of 3 for the Longhorns. McIver may be changing the play. Split backs. Wants to throw again. No blitz coming. Over the middle. Nice catch if he hang. No. They bobbled it. Looking for, when he stand, I think it was right. No, it was the looking for McCloney, the split end, and he bobbled the ball, Preston.
All they're trying to do in this case is get that ball down close to where their field goal kicker can have a shot at it. It is bobbled. I'm not so sure if it hit the ground or not. We'll see it here.
I didn't think it did, and of course this is a tough angle to see because the camera's behind him, but Longhorns now facing 3rd down and 13 at the SMU 42-yard line. And again McIver to throw. And again no blitz. Flat pass to Robinson. And he didn't get the first down. But he did get into Allegre's field goal range. Gary Moten brought him down.
We've got a player down. I believe it's Michael Carter, and that could hurt. If we can see the film here, Michael Carter is going to be the one that comes in here and gets laid on. No, that's not Michael Carter. He got cut down on the line of scrimmage. But it's a quick screen out to the side here, and he doesn't quite get to the first down area.
There's Ron Meyer watching to see if Michael Carter, the big nose tackle, number 74, is going to be all right. He's being attended to by the doctors. McIver now has hit 2 out of 7 for 12 yards, and he's been sacked twice. And the field goal team is coming out for Texas. Raul Allegre, who it is a knee for Carter. Is that what you're saying?
I believe that's a knee he's got.
Well, that's a shame. That is an awful shame.
He got cut down pretty hard up at the line of scrimmage by one of the offensive tackles.
Well, Ron Meyer watching for the doctors to come back and tell him. The field goal team for Texas is on. We can probably see it where he gets hit as we watch the replay. Watch 74 right in the middle of your screen there.
It's cut down right here. That's that. Oh, my goodness. Left knee. Right knee, I'm sorry.
Boy, that's a picture like the one you saw Kermit Alexander hit Gale Sayers on, the shot that ended Sayers' career. It's one of the most famous pictures in football. And you could just see Alexander, not a cheap shot, but it's just the way he hit him.
No,
and this was not a cheap shot by Texas, but you could just clearly see Carter's knee go out from under him.
Absolutely, and that's not a cheap shot. That has nothing to do with being dirty. That is football, and every player, coach, and anybody associated with the game must understand that fact. He's hurt.
There's Michael Carter. It's remarkable that he's walking off to that degree under his own power.
Big man, important man.
He is just an awesome physical specimen, and I hate to use that word, but it applies to Michael Carter. So we'll hope that he's not seriously injured.
He is to SMU what Kenneth Sims is to Texas.
Now Allegre will try, ostensibly, a 50-yard field goal. He is 1 for 1 today. This will be 50 yards. And it looks like it'll be short and way off to the right. So SMU has held again, and when you consider that Texas started this possession at what, the 50-yard line?
Approximately the 50-yard line, yes.
And SMU's defense has held again. The only score of the game came when Eric Dickerson fumbled the ball at the very start of the game on his own 21-yard line. Texas couldn't move from there, but Allegre was able to kick a 33-yard field goal, and that is the only score we've had. Now with 35 seconds left in the first half, McElhenney will try to go to work. Kovar and James in the eye behind him. SMU down 3-0. Play fake, and he fell down. McElhenney just lost his footing at the 25-yard line.
I think they screwed up again on the backfield there. James and McElhenney. He got tripped up by someone, and I think it was the back coming out of the backfield.
SMU is averaging 296 yards a game rushing, but today the Texas defense has held them to 84 yards. That's the time left, and it's running in the first half, and they may just let it run out. What a tremendous defensive struggle we've seen. And it's not over yet. It is not over yet. Last second, the clock runs out, and we'll go to the dressing room with a game for the purists. The score at halftime is Texas 3 and SMU nothing. And we'll be back in just a moment. Texas will get the ball first. That's Eddie Garcia, the SMU kicker, and we are underway, and Garcia put a lot of foot into this one, and he'll kick it out of the back of the end zone. The Longhorns will bring it out. First down and 10 from their 20-yard line. Average gain on first down so far today. Our statistician Dave Yaggy comes up with this one. SMU has made 1.6 yards on the average on every first down. Texas 1.5. Average gain per rushing play today. SMU 2.3 yards and Texas 2 yards even.
Shows you a defensive struggle. And both teams could be in deep trouble if they were playing someone else or better ball clubs when they're averaging 1.5 yards on first down.
Right there you see Rick McIver, the Texas quarterback. He's got Robinson and Jones in the I formation behind him, and it's Jam Jones up the middle where Michael Carter is not playing. He's on the bench with a knee injury. We have not yet ascertained the severity of it, but 64, Harvey McAtee has replaced him, and watch Jam Jones 24.
And they're going right at Michael Carter's replacement, right at the middle. They got about 4 or 5 yards out of that. 6.
The attendance at Texas Stadium today, 60,777. Great, great crowd today. Second down, 7, gain of 3 for Jam Jones. Sampled in the tight end in motion. Jam sweep left. And he only got a couple. Real good pursuit by Kevin Chaney, the defensive tackle. And here's another interesting statistic. Although Jones has not really been able to spring loose too much for the Longhorns yet, Texas has never lost a game when Jam Jones has rushed for 100 yards or more. And he has done that 11 times in his career. Today, Jones has made only 31 yards, but Texas leads 3-0. Third down 4, Longhorns at their own 26. McIver may be changing the play. Jones from the eye, close, and he may have the first down.
It'll be very close.
Gary Moten and Kevin Chaney defensively on the stop.
Texas going to his strength and running right at Michael Carter's old position before he got hurt. And he's got it up over in the air for the first down.
Again, Carter right at the end of the first half limped off with an apparent knee injury. We await official word on it, but Harvey McAtee has replaced him. Only the third Texas first down of the day as Jan Jones carries again. brought down this time by Eric Ferguson, who is back in the game, and Harvey Armstrong.
To show you the difference between a Michael Carter and Harvey McAtee, although McAtee is a fine football player, a basic difference got to be the amount of size and strength. McAtee is 5'9" or 10, 220 pounds, versus a Michael Carter, 6'2", 278.
2nd and 7, and Jam Jones again. Now they're really starting to work him. Harvey Armstrong made the stop. We might set the rest of the Texas offense besides McIver and his backfield of Jones and Robinson. And we'll do that right after we see Jones again.
Again, they're running right at the gut, right at the weakness that has been created by Michael Carter's injury. And I would venture to guess that they're going to stay on the ground as much as they can, running right at McAtee.
Babb, the center, Sheeran and Dawson, the guards, Tobolka and Tosh, the tackles. Jones again. A fumble.
SMU's got it. No.
Who got it? We'll wait for the official indication. Jones was popped hard, and that ball came loose. And SM, who got it? We still have no official indication. There's also a flag on the play. We've got a holding call. Dale Hellestrand may have come up with a football.
Got a punt.
And it's going to be, I guess Texas came up with a ball, and holding against them declined. And John Goodson will be on the kick. SMU will try a return. Blaine Smith, great kick. My goodness, back at the 7. And Smith on the sideline, tightrope walking, good return, a flag on the play. Blaine Smith, the safety, usually a clip. 56-yard kick for Goodson.
Yes, and I'm sorry, Brad, that has got to be a clipping when a penalty or a flag is thrown that far back. Let's see if we can catch it. It looks like it's coming up right here. We can't see it in our view. We'll watch where he's slowing up here a little bit. Yes, that's got to be clipping right there.
That should be a clip against the Mustang. But great kick by Woodson, by Goodson. 56 yards in the air, 4.4 seconds. Blaine Smith returned at 23 yards, but that's going to be walked off. Tell you, penalties have hurt SMU a little bit today.
And they're starting out in their own territory very deep as they did in the first half.
Their average field position, SMU's in the game, has been at their own 18-yard line to begin a drive. Texas has averaged, starting off at its own 48, which either tells you something about the SMU defense or the Texas offense. SMU has not scored, and penalties hurt them a couple of times on one drive late in the second quarter. Now a penalty has put them back all the way at their own 10-yard line to begin this drive. Make it the 9. McElhenney to Dickerson. Look at it. Texas defense closing quickly.
Schultz, linebacker. Schultz in there to bobble everything.
51. Johnson, the 8. SMU has Dickerson at tailback. Jerry Kovar right at the moment at fullback. There's the Texas defense, which has been almost as stingy. SMU has but 90 yards of total offense and no points. 2nd down and 10. Long count. McElhenney wants to throw, and he overthrows Bobby Leach at the 30-yard line. Vance Bedford on coverage, but you wonder if that leg injury that Leach has been suffering the last few weeks hurt him there, because that's a timing play, Preston, with McElhenney, and if he is able to get to the ball, if Leach is able to get to the ball, well, you're at the 30-yard line and you're suddenly in business.
That was a very well thrown football by McElhenney. I thought it should have been caught, and as you alluded, Brad, he may be still hurting, Leach, that is, in that he just could not stretch out enough to put his hand on that ball. That was a very well thrown football.
2 wide receivers for SMU now. 3rd down, 10 at their own 9-yard line. They're going to give bad field position up here if they're not careful. Dickerson brought down at the 10. The Texas defense swarming. Graham, the safety, number 36, up to help Doug Schenkel, the fine middle linebacker. Eric Dickerson has really been frustrated today, Preston. 12 carries for 30 yards.
And no real running room for Dickerson here. I think he's the kind of back that's got to stay in there, Brad, taking whatever he can get. His turn will come. If there's an open created by his offensive line, he's good enough to take advantage of it.
Well, Craig James is on to kick it away. Remember, Eric Kafis, the SMU #1 punter, still out hurt. James, almost had that blocked. Another low kick. Takes an SMU bounce and rolls past Morshell. And it'll come back down to about the 33-yard line. Rob Morshell, the freshman, #8, got out of the way of the ball.
And we have a late penalty on the right-hand side down
here.
Yeah,
we do. Flag down in front of the SMU bench. The ball was only in the air 2.7 seconds, but with the roll, it went 57 yards. Now the penalty. See if everybody had enough men on the field. See where the discussion is going to be. SMU got a break. Preston kicking the ball out of there the way they did.
I'm not certain, Brad, exactly what this penalty is, but I believe it's going to be against SMU, something that happened on their sidelines over there, and the coaches reacted as though it was something that they did not want to see called.
Oh, we'll have a conference. There's Ron Meyer getting on the headsets with upstairs. 3-0 Texas with 10:45 to play in the third quarter. Brad Sham and Preston Pearson at Texas Stadium. Here's Bill Bagan, the referee, who indicates that it's against SMU. And the walk-off will be a big one.
It's going to hurt SMU. It's going to hurt SMU, but it puts Texas in a very good field position, almost at midfield. That's where they want to play the ball game, right there to start out every time if they can.
Big walk-off against SMU. And again, we said before, penalties have hurt him.
What was that penalty?
5 for 47. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Which somebody might have said something over on the sideline. Anyway, Rick McIver puts it in play and gives the ball off to Rodney Tate, who's in at tailback, and he's stopped by Harvey Armstrong.
Great hit by Harvey Armstrong.
Tate getting his first look today, senior from Beggs, Oklahoma. Oh, again, a penalty against SMU for somebody saying something over on the sideline, really bringing them back. And they had 2 holding penalties on a drive late in the second quarter that slowed them down. Donnie Little and McIver gives again to Rodney Tate. Nice move to get outside. Tate with room down the sideline, and what a great block by Joe Sharon, the left guard from Wilson High School, Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas. Rodney Tate, who had a big touchdown run against Oklahoma, gets 23 yards behind the block of 74, Joe Sharon.
Watch the blockers, the 2 guards coming out. There's one taken down by the right offensive guard, and here's Sharon coming around. He's going to take out an additional 2 or 3 right there, and it's all up to the back to take what he sees down the sideline. Good gain for Texas, executed very well.
Mike Luck and Rodney Tate in the backfield right now, and it's Tate again, and he's stacked up by Armstrong, but he did get a couple of yards. Rodney Tate really came in and lit a fire under the Texas offense there for just a moment. He is carried now 3 times for 28 yards. Jam Jones is the leading rusher for the Longhorns to this point, 43 yards, but it's taken him 14 carries to do that. SMU's offense has been just as bottled up, and the difference in the game and the reason Texas is leading and threatening is field position, which is usually the case in a close game. Down to the SMU 25-yard line on 2nd and 7. There's Rodney Tate. Oh, is he open?
Fumble.
Let's see who's going to get it. He may be. I think they called him down.
He's down.
12 yards for Tate. Terry Tausch out in front leading the blocking. The senior tackle from New Braunfels. And Rodney Tate, number 23, has really come in and sparked the Longhorns. Watch the tailback.
Exceptional daylight running here. Watch him pick his hole. Goes where he wants to go. Coming outside. Just good move there. Excellent. Ball will pop out, but he's on the ground.
First down for the Longhorns. Tate again. And again he's outside. And he got away from Gary Moten, 33, finally brought down by the left cornerback, Russell Carter, for 29.
This young man again is taking what he can get, running to daylight. Nothing out there, he thinks, so he's coming back this way. The tackle should have been made right there by Victor Simon. Victor Simon, it was not, so he gets an additional gain.
Well, look at the Longhorns now. Down on the 8-yard line, 2nd down 5. Tate Simon got it.
Well, you would think he's going to get into trouble whenever he decides to pick daylight running down this close. He's got to learn that you take what they give you when they get in that close. You can't fool around and dance and dodge. That time he got caught. He went to the well one time too often.
So the Longhorns facing a 3rd and 7 now, and a timeout being called by Texas, and we'll take a break with 7 minutes 50 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, and the score still Texas 3, SMU nothing. We'll be back in just a moment. You don't think Rodney Tate has made a difference? He's come in and picked up 44 yards on this drive in 6 carries. Jam Jones has 43 yards on the day and 14 carries. Texas, 3rd down 7 at the SMU 10-yard line. Longhorns leading 3-0. Little in motion. Blitz. Fumble the ball. Little fell on it at the 20, and the blitz caused Donnie Little to cough it up. The Longhorns lucky to hold on, and they will force a field goal try by Raul Alegre.
SMU coming out again, looking like the ones who are on top here. It's a blitz, a complete mix-up by the backfield. One back going in the wrong direction. Donnie Little just fortunate enough to come up with a fumble.
Little took his eye off the ball, Preston. I think he saw Eric Moore, 92,
exactly,
the blitzing linebacker coming in. So the ball will be spotted at the 28-yard line. It'll be a 38-yard field goal try by Alegre. 38-yarder is no good.
Brad, he missed it.
He missed it. 38 yards, no good. And SMU may have new life. Texas was down at the 10-yard line and looked like they were driving in for a touchdown. But the confusion, Little fumble, recovered it himself, and Alegre missed from 38, and we'll be back in just a moment with Texas still leading 3-0. SMU has dodged another bullet. James and Kovar in the eye at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, 7:09 left, 3rd quarter. There's James. Nothing. Charge led by Bruce Schultz and Eric Holley, 51 and 93.
All the work that Rodney Tate did for the Texas Longhorns on that last drive came to no avail as SMU shut it out. The field goal kicker missed, and now they have new life. I wonder, Brad, at this point, how emotion and momentum will take over for which team. Well, SMU should be in the driver's seat. Ron
Meyer said before the game he thought the momentum would switch several times during the game, and it may be with SMU now, but you still got to execute. 2nd down 9, SMU. They've done nothing offensively all day, but McElhenney will turn the corner. He'll only get 2 or 3, pushed out by Doug Schenkel, 48, the senior middle linebacker from Silsbee.
Really, the Mustangs are trying to get this ball outside to their backs. However, you can see he's covered very well out there. Quarterback must keep the ball and get what he can get.
SMU looking at a big 3rd down and 4 play. They just haven't had any offense. McElhenney has carried 10 times for a minus 14 yards. He has passed 1 out of 5 for 12. SMU is 3 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Facing 3rd and 4 here, and McElhenney may be changing the play. Play fake. Nobody open. Great coverage deep. Intercepted by Texas. And it's the linebacker, Jeff Lighting, at the 35-yard line. McElhenney making a quarterback mistake. There was nobody open. The coverage was sensational, and McElhenney tried to get the ball to the tight end, Bolden, who had uncovered a little bit underneath, but not enough, and he threw it on the run, and Lighting with a big interception for Texas.
If we could only see the receivers and the defenders downfield, we can see here right off that there's no one open. As a quarterback, he must throw the ball away. There's no way that you can possibly get a ball in to a receiver with all those people around running in the wrong direction.
I said he was looking for Bolden, but it was Craig James, the intended receiver. Big break for Texas. They take over on the 34-yard line, Rodney Tate.
Good run.
He's got about 7.
Where's he been?
Been sitting on the bench watching Jam Jones. Russ Washington made the stop.
He's been very good so far, and I wonder if he shouldn't have been in there earlier games to give him more experience.
7 carries for 50 yards now for Tate. He has surpassed Jam Jones' yardage. McElhenney with his first interception of the day. Second down and 4 for the Longhorns. SMU 27. SMU has it. How about that?
What can you say,
I believe it was Mike Luck, the fullback. We'll have to see that one again.
And again, it's a fumble or a mistake that nobody's really causing.
Yeah, that thing just flew out of there crazily.
We can only catch this on replay here. We'll find out whether or not it was caused by someone or it was just not being able to have the handle on the ball.
So Texas gets the interception from Jeff Lighting, and they fumble the ball right back. Dickerson and James together. SMU leading a charmed life, and they can't take advantage of it at their own 22. Craig James from his fullback position got about 2 yards. 48 Schenkel, the middle linebacker, on the stop. To tell you, the SMU offense just hadn't been able to do anything. James, 15 carries for 57 yards. Dickerson really frustrated, 12 for 30. McElhenney has run 10 for a loss of 14 yards. And he has thrown 1 out of 6. He's completed just 1 pass in the game. Second down, 7, 5:12 left, third quarter. Texas still leading 3-0. Wing back in motion. That was Bobby Leach. Option McElhenney. Behind Kovar, what a hit he took from Graham, 36, coming up from safety.
They're shutting the outside run of the Mustangs out completely. They've got one man coming up from the backfield to take the tail back completely, and there he is. The linebacker takes that back out of it completely. Therefore, the quarterback has got to take what he can get, following whatever blocking he can get. Normally, it doesn't work out for you to win ball games when a quarterback's got to carry a ball around the end position all the time. It just doesn't work out that way.
SMU so fortunate to only be behind by 3. Texas defense rising to the occasion. Sims with encroachment. That may give him a first down. Kenneth Sims, unless he had some motion in front of him now. Did Hartnett move or what? I didn't see any blue shirts moving. Sims is shaking his head. You can see him right there, the left part of your screen, 77 in the white. They're going to try to figure it out. Illegal procedure against Texas.
Encroachment.
Encroachment. Just watch 77, left of your screen. Not too hard to see. Getting set.
Well, Hartnett did move.
Yeah, he thought he saw motion. He sure as heck did.
He sure did move.
But they have called it against Sims. It was a very subtle little ripple almost in the back of Hartnett's jersey. But Sims, with eyes like a hawk, Preston, reacted to it. And this time he got burned, so first down by penalty.
I don't think a coach would fault Sims on that particular play. He was doing what he's taught to do.
3:43 left in the third quarter. SMU has done nothing on offense all day. They trail 3-0. Dickerson, nothing. Oh, the Texas interior defense linebacker, Schenkel, made that stop. He must have 8 tackles. Lighting and Schultz also played well. Lighting's had an interception.
We've got to call. SMU's got to call timeout here to get the number 87 Bolden off the field. He's hurting. There he limps off the field right now.
Tight end Ricky Bolden from Hillcrest. Scott Ford replay. There's Bolden coming off. 2nd and 10 SMU. Wing back motion from Leach. Play fake. Looking for Leach. Should have caught it. Dropped it at the 40-yard line. Tough catch, falling away from the ball. Vance Bedford, 41, with coverage. Getting congratulations there from William Graham. But Preston, you're a long time coming out of backfields for yourself. That's the kind of ball you got to catch, right?
He should have caught it. It was an underthrown pass, first of all, and the receiver is the only one that saw it coming. He really should have caught it. He really should have tried more so to catch the ball in his hands rather than trying to bring it into his body before he caught it in his hands.
Rivas and Leach leave the game. We got Jackie Wilson split wide to the left and Gene to the right. 3rd and 10. Play fake again. Caught by the tight end Ford, but short of a first down. Scott Ford, freshman tight end from Pearland, and once again 36 William Graham, the senior free safety of the Longhorns, up to make the stop. Ron Meyer's team now faces 4th down and probably not much more than a foot, but at a critical spot, Preston, at their own 45-yard line.
This is a decision that a coach has to make. Obviously, it looks like Ron Meyer's going to go for it.
Would you do that here?
Well, yes, I think I would. With the way my defensive team is playing, I would have to definitely think about it, talk with my other coaches, and make a decision on it.
SMU, though, is going to call time to try to decide whether they want to go for it, which they apparently will do. But in any event, SMU is charged with a timeout. We have 2 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the third quarter with our score. Texas 3, SMU nothing, and we'll be back in a moment. Texas trying to protect the 3-0 lead they have held since early in the first period. And a critical 4th down and a yard now for SMU at their own 44-yard line. They're trying to convert a fumble recovery. Texas has had a lot of chances here in this half. Not done anything. SMU with a huge play. They have done nothing offensively all day, and they got to have a yard. And let's see if McElhenney can get it. Dickerson fumbled the ball, and Texas may have recovered it. In any case, the Longhorns will have the ball. Mark Weber, number 69, the senior defensive tackle from Texas City, came up with the ball. That's the second time today Dickerson has lost a fumble. The first time, Texas converted in the first quarter and got a field goal, and now they wind up getting the ball at the SMU 42 with great field position again.
And you've got to wonder about the mental framework, the mental position of an Eric Dickerson. What's he thinking about now? He's had little success running. He's fumbled twice. What's he thinking?
First down, 10, Texas at the SMU 42. McIver play fake. Roll out. Bottled up. Throws. Incomplete. And he badly underthrew Lawrence Sampleton, the tight end of the 30-yard line. McIver threw inside, Sampleton cut outside, and on the rollout scramble, he had him open. But there, 75, Harvey Armstrong, who had good pressure on the quarterback.
Very good pressure on the quarterback, and to miss Mr. Sampleton is quite a feat. He's quite a big man, 6'7" or so.
A lot of folks wonder why they don't throw to him all day long. And the rap on him is he did not have great hands.
Yes, and I think that can be taught. If he doesn't have great hands, then I think that's the fault of the coaching staff. That can be taught.
Second down, 10, Texas. McIver, another play fake. More pressure out of the pocket. Caught this time by McCloney at the 25. Again. Who's got it? SMU may have it. Let's wait and see. McCloney caught it in the open field on the run. Maurice McCloney, 21. And then the ball popped loose.
Look at them fight for that ball underneath the pileup. They're still scrambling underneath it, I guarantee you, because it's going to be a close call here, and it's very important.
Down at the SMU 15-yard line with 1:51 left to play in the third quarter. Who got it?
They're still fighting underneath there. Texas has got it.
Looked like SMU might have had it. Let's watch it again and see if we can see.
Again, good pressure put on the quarterback, McIver. He finally gets rid of it with a man wide open. And the defensive back, as we can see it here, will come up and hit his outside arm. Number 46 hits it, pops it out of there. Two players from SMU have a shot at it and don't come up with it.
It looked like Moten had the ball, and his shoulder got pinned under him, and Moten up very slowly, and it sure looked like Moten had it on the bottom of that pile, but Texas came away with it. First down and 10 at the SMU 15-yard line after the completion to McCloney and the fumble recovery. Carl Robinson smothered by Roy Douglas, number 91, the defensive end.
How many times can Texas get down in this area and not score? They do it again, you've got to feel that the momentum will turn to SMU completely.
SMU operating the entire second half without their great nose guard, Michael Carter, who went out with a knee injury in the first half. We still haven't heard how bad it is. 2nd and 8 for Texas. SMU 13. McIver falls down. Lost his balance from the snap of the football.
I'll tell you, Brad, I'll tell you, this game can bounce in so many different directions. If they don't take advantage on this third down, I've got to wonder what exactly will Fred Akers do. Will he go for the field goal? He just missed one. Will he go for an extra down, 4th down, to throw the ball to try to punch it in? What's he going to do?
What he'd like to do is get a first down here on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 from the SMU 15. Blitz coming. Thrown in the end zone. Nice play by Radford. Incomplete, intended for Donnie Little. 34, Eddie Radford, the junior cornerback from Wilmer Hutchins. He made a nice play, and we're going to see the field goal team, Raul Alegre.
Quality. What can I say? I can only say that both of these teams are quality. Texas and SMU both. Quality teams.
The 22 seconds you just saw left in the 3rd quarter, and Raul Alegre is 1 out of 2 for the day. This is a 32-yarder, and this one is good.
Hit that one even off a bad snap.
Raul Alegre with a 32-yarder to go with the 33-yard field goal that he hit in the 1st quarter. SMU went for it on 4th down at their own 45, didn't get it and fumbled the ball. Texas came the other way with great field position again and got a lucky break when McIver hit McCloney with a completion on 3rd down. McCloney fumbled the ball, but it went forward another 10 yards, a big pile up, and Texas came away with it. And from that point, Alegre with his 2nd field goal of the day. 33 yards in the 1st quarter, 32 yards in the 3rd quarter. Texas lead is now 6-0, and the fans are enjoying it still.
And a lot of that drive, a lot of the game plan that Texas just developed goes back to Rodney Tate. SMU had to come up to try to stop the run, and therefore they started to pass and had a few of their receivers wide open.
Now the kickoff for the Longhorns, down to Blaine Smith at the 3. Out to the 10, to the 20, and he's out to the 22-yard line. That's about it. SMU's closest position at possession is 67 yards from the goal. Texas has taken over that far away only twice. That far away only twice. And with all that kind of field position that Texas has had, all they've been able to come up with today is 2 field goals. And they've also had an interception by Jeff Lighting, which they fumbled away a couple of plays later. Field position has been won by Texas. They lead 6-0. Both defenses have been superb. 2 wide receivers for SMU as they start at their own 22. Play fake rollout. McElhenney is crunched by Jeff Lighting. Oh, mercy. Number 60, 6'4", 240 pounds. McElhenney, though, gets up and says, I want more. Lighting causes a loss of 2. And we are out of time in the 3rd period. Final 15 minutes coming up, and this should be a great conclusion. Going into the 4th quarter, our score is Texas 6, SMU nothing, and we'll be back after these words. Brad Sham and Preston Pearson back again at Texas Stadium, where SMU faces 2nd down 11 from its own 22, trailing 6-0 as we begin the 4th quarter. Both defenses have been superb. McElhenney to James, up the middle, and he gets out to the 25-yard line. Bruce Schultz makes the stop. SMU hasn't been shut out since last year. Late in the year, they lost to Texas Tech 14-0 in the 10th game. And they haven't been shut out at home in 5 years. The Aggies beat them here 36-0. Not here. It was in the Cotton Bowl back in '76.
Texas is just a strong defensive unit, and they're playing a very good offensive team here. And all the credit has got to go to their people out there on defense. They're shutting them down right now.
On both teams. 2 wide receivers left for SMU on 3rd down and 9. Play fake McElhenney. Here comes the linebacker blitz, and he's buried. Kenneth Sims with great penetration, along with a blitzing Jeff Lighting coming up from the weak side linebacker. And McElhenney is frustrated again. SMU's total yardage is 109, and it's amazing they've got that much. Dickerson has 30 yards, and that's all. James, 59. McElhenney has been 13 for a loss of 17. And James with a very short punt. High, but very short. Inside SMU territory, and it's down at the 38. When you have two good teams, Preston Pearson, the difference in a game is going to be mistakes and field position. SMU made a mistake on the first series of the game. On a fumble, Texas turned it into 3 points, and then it's been field position with plays like that. SMU, without its regular punter, they get a 21-yard kick, and Texas takes over at the 39-yard line. You cannot beat a good team with that kind of field position.
You said it all. I need not say any more.
McIver for Rodney Tate. Kevin Chaney making the stop. SMU's defense, Preston, is being called on to do too much.
Right now, they have played so well that you've got to believe they're going to get tired, or are tired right now. By the same token, Texas has been in such field position, their offensive people have got to feel, let's knock this thing in there and put this game away.
You got to give a lot of credit to the Texas defensive team. Sims, all those, but Robert Brewer is in at quarterback for Texas, the junior from Richardson, and he is chased and he is sacked by Harvey McAtee, the backup for the injured Michael Carter.
Excellent job.
He got in there in a hurry for a loss of 12, and again the SMU defense frustrates the Longhorns.
Nobody touched him. The right guard for Texas got off the mark late, and as a result, Mike Ivory is on his back for a loss.
That's Brewer, the quarterback who came in to replace McIver. And we don't know where McIver's down the sideline. Standing there with his helmet in his hand. Texas offense frustrated. They have changed quarterbacks for Robert Brewer. And there goes Jam Jones, who's back in the game on the sweep. And he's brought down after a big gain. All the way down to the 35-yard line. Carl Robinson, the fullback, leading the blocking. The free safety, James Mobley, caught up with him, but not until Jam Jones had picked up 13 yards. He's up at 58 now for the day.
And Jam Jones is an excellent back. I believe they brought Rodney Tate in here just to change up for a little bit, but this man here is the Texas offensive running game, and he is excellent.
Now the Longhorns send Allegre in again because it's 4th down. The sack really cost him. 4th down, 6 at the 35. Allegre will try a 52-yard field goal. And it's got enough leg, and it's good! 52 yards by Raul Allegre.
Probably the most important kick or play of the entire day. If he misses that, SMU is still in the ballgame. They are still in the ballgame. However, with even a touchdown and 2-point conversion, they can only be so close.
Well, SMU, which has done nothing offensively all day, is now 9 points down. A 52-yard field goal by Allegre. 11:37 to play in the game, and it's now Texas 9, SMU nothing. We'll be right back. Once again, a battle of field position. Texas takes advantage of a short 21-yard SMU punt. They get the ball at the 39. SMU again staves off a touchdown with a big sack, but Allegre gets the field goal. And he kicks off with 11:37 to play in the game. Blaine Smith at the 1. To the 15, stacked up. Look at the field position again, back at the 19-yard line. And SMU, which has really just done nothing offensively all day because of the outstanding play of the Texas defense, Preston, SMU has got a long way to go now with 11:32 to play and down 9 points.
And this is a complete turnaround as far as the Texas Longhorns are concerned, as far as their kicking situations from last week. Now, I feel here that the receiver in that particular kickoff should have gotten up there to catch that ball before it bounced.
First down, 10 at the 20-yard line. SMU down 9-0. McElhenney the option to Dickerson, left corner. He got 8 before William Graham came up from safety to make the stop. Dickerson has really been bottled up today. 38 yards on 15 carries, and he's got a 9-game streak going back to last year of 100-yard games.
Well, again, the ball game is a long ways from being over, and as I alluded to earlier, the mental frame that's going on, the mental framework that's going on in his mind is going to be very important for him, the individual person, as far as his maturity growth is concerned.
I said 9 straight 100-yard days for Dickerson. It's 8 coming into today, and here he is again. And look at Texas swarm to him. He may not have gotten the first down. 60 Lighting, 93 Eric Holly. And Dickerson is really finding the running room coming tough, but they did get the first down. We've talked a lot about the SMU defense, and that's largely because Texas has had such good field position so frequently that the SMU defense has done a miraculous job of staying within 9 points.
Yes, that's exactly right, Brad. Texas is no slouch now by any means. They have good people both offensively and defensively.
The Texas defense has done a fabulous job. They've kept Dickerson bottled up all day. McElhenney, play fake, blitz coming. He beat it, looking for Wilson, caught it at the 40-yard line, and he's gone. Jackie Wilson, 70 yards and a touchdown. We got a game.
And they're back into this game. That's college football. That's SWAC football. SMU is back into this game.
Well, that'll spark him a little bit. Boy, it had been dead all day. Vance Bedford went for the interception, and Lance McElhenney has just thrown his 4th touchdown pass of the year to number 85, Jackie Wilson.
It's a straight drop back pass. We can see it here. The defender's in good position, but he all of a sudden stumbles and falls. No chance from there. 70-yard touchdown. What is SMU going to do now? They going for the extra point? Yes, they are.
They're going to go for one. Only a minute 34 off the clock. 80 yards in 3 plays. Dale Hellestray is centering to Cephas. Garcia's kick is good. And with 10 minutes and 3 seconds still left in the 4th quarter, the score is now Texas 9 and SMU 7. We'll be back after this. How fickle smiles Dame Fortune. There's a crowd that was so quiet until a moment ago. And then Eddie Garcia got a chance to kick an extra point. A 70-yard touchdown pass from McElhenney to Wilson. It's 9-7. Garcia looking for Mike Luck, but this one is going to go out of bounds at the 8, and he'll have to kick it again. Field position. Keep getting back to it because it's so critical. We got so much time left, over 10 minutes. SMU is averaging getting the ball 82 yards from the Texas goal line. 82 yards. Texas is averaging getting the ball 51 yards from the SMU goal line, and the score is 9-7. That's unbelievable. That
is unbelievable. And for SMU, they are still in the ball game. It can be won very easily, as exemplified by that last pass pattern. And we've got ourselves a good ball game, Brad. Let's hang in here with it.
We want to remind you that tonight's game will also be seen Monday night at 6 o'clock on Channel S, as in Salmons in the Park Cities, on the Salmons Sports Channel. 10 minutes and 3 seconds left. Yeoman work done today by our statistician, David Yagi, and our spotters, Brian Briscoe and Dr. Mitchell Abusi. They are really keeping you informed of all the little bits of information as Garcia kicks off again. Line drive. Mike Luck. A yard deep. He'll run it out. Oh, he's got a seam. And he's brought down finally at the 32-yard line by Larry Cox. But a fine run back by Mike Luck, the fullback, sophomore from Houston, number 26. Watch it.
First of all, Garcia put SMU in the hole by kicking that first kickoff out of bounds. Therefore, they've got at least 5 yards to get started with, and this is straight up the gut. Look at the blocking. Nobody in his way until he reaches the 30-yard line. That's very good blocking.
Well, Texas lead cut to 2 points now. 1st and 10. They start the drive at their 32. Brewer still the quarterback. This is Tate. Across the 35. Eddie Radford, the right corner, brought him down. Texas has shook up the offensive skill positions. Robert Brewer has replaced McIver at quarterback. Rodney Tate is in the backfield now with Carl Robinson. And a gain of about 4. 2nd down, 6, 9.5 minutes to play. Texas 9-0 lead became 9-7 a moment ago. This is Brewer, junior from Richardson. And as Preston said, a crucial series. 2nd and 6. Robinson, the fullback, close to a first down. Mobley, the free safety, made the stop. But good use of the fullback on the option play to give him a different look.
Obviously, Texas's objective here is to keep that ball on the ground and use as much time off that clock as possible. Obviously, again, on the other hand, for SMU, is to stop that run, to make them go to the air if possible and take over possession of the football as soon as possible.
They're going to measure to see if he got a first. And neither team has had a great day running the ball. SMU is getting just 2.1 yards on the average per rushing play. Texas just 2.8. You see Dallasite Joe Sheeran, 74, standing there as the referee, Bill Bagan, says just about that much short. And Texas will face a second down. Should be third down. And a yard. Texas 3 of 14 on third down conversions. SMU not much better. 4 out of 15. Here's a big one. Longhorns out at their own 41.
Quarterback sneak.
Brewer, the quarterback. Robinson and Tate behind him. 2 wide receivers go right. Tight end to the left. Quarterback sneak. He's bumped and a flag flies. Gary Moten hit him quickly immediately. If we have illegal procedure on the offense, that really changes the play call. On the other hand,
it's going to change
be offside
everything.
offense.
Drastic change in play calling.
Well, there's a critical mistake, Preston.
Yes. You put the defense in command at that point when you have to go back 5 yards versus 5 inches.
I'm frankly a little surprised. We look around the stadium, and you look at Robert Brewer, the quarterback, come back in the game. We look around the stadium here on a beautiful day, and it's not quite a sellout. There are about 5 to 60,000. It's a great crowd, but there are about 5,000 seats still available. That's a little surprising.
That is. You would think with the kind of football that's played in this state of Texas, with these two institutions being right here in Texas Stadium where the Cowboys and other teams play, you would have a virtual sellout every time. Not the case today.
But a good crowd nonetheless, a big one, 60,000. Here's a big play, Texas after the penalty, 3rd and 6. Brewer on the delay to Tate. Got past one man, but not past Moten, 33, who came up, the junior from Shreveport, to close him down. And they'll have Goodson come on, I would think, to kick this thing away. There he is, the barefoot kicker. SMU's defense held again.
Big down, big change in possession here.
Time important, 8:20 left. Jam Jones sitting on the bench along with Rick McIver. There's a Texas player down on the near side of the field, and we are not able to identify him yet because he's surrounded by doctors and trainers. Get that number identification as soon as we can. That's Rodney Tate, 23.
They lose him for any period of time. They lost one of their spark plugs, and we are into the 4th quarter. And the 4th quarter is when good teams say the 4th quarter belongs to us. Conditioning, training, concentration, emotion, all those things come into play in the latter parts of the 4th quarter.
Rodney Tate came in the 3rd quarter and really sparked the Longhorns, and he is neck and neck with Jam Jones for the leadership in ground gaining in the game. Tate has carried 9 times for 57 yards. Jones 16 for 58 yards, but Rodney Tate is averaging, mind you, 9.5 yards a run. On the other hand, for SMU, Dickerson 16 for 40. James 16 for 59. It's the best job anybody has done all year of defending Dickerson and James. There's Rodney Tate, the senior from Beggs, Oklahoma, coming off. We hope he's all right. John Goodson on to kicking. What a day he's had kicking. He's been bionic. And here's his worst kick of the day. And it'll take an SMU roll out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Goodson with just a 20-yard kick in the air, only 3 seconds. He's been excellent all day, Preston, but
that's mind-boggling, Brad. It really is. And you've got to say at this point that the players that are good ones that come to the top, the cream of the crop always comes to the top. They've got to perform under pressure in crucial situations. Now, Goodson's been kicking that ball all day 50 yards, 5 seconds in the air. When they needed drastically bad, he couldn't do it.
8:09 in the game. SMU with its best field position at its 41, trailing 9-7. McElhenney wants to throw. Looking for Leach. Sideline. Overthrows a diving Bobby Leach, who had beaten Vance Bedford, the senior cornerback, at about the 25. And McElhenney has overthrown a couple of folks today. He overthrew Craig James once on what could have been a big gainer over the middle. And again, we must mention, though, that Leach has been hampered by a bad leg.
Yes.
And that's the second time today, I guess, that they have missed connections, maybe because of that.
He's taped up pretty heavily, and as he runs off the field, you can tell he's got a slight limp, so it's probably affected his play ability. 2nd and
10. Wilson wide right. McElhenney option. James, nothing. Look at that defensive pursuit by the outside linebacker, Bruce Schultz. 51, the senior from Austin. 6'6", 233. There is an aching Craig James. You can almost hear him say, "Oh, my aching back." James, 17 carries, 56 yards. Bruce Schultz made the stop.
Yeah, there's another Stork. The gentleman who plays
That's what I was
football.
thinking. Hendricks.
Tall.
Yeah.
That's right. Ted Hendricks from Oakland. Tall, 6'6", 240 pounds. That alone looks like prospect capabilities right there.
Well, SMU facing a 3rd down and 13 now. They started at their 41. They're back to their 38. I formation, Dickerson and Kovar. He'll throw. Over the middle, his man fell down, intercepted by Vance Bedford, out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. Jackie Wilson, the intended receiver, lost his footing at approximately the Texas 38-yard line when he tried to cut to the sideline.
Lost his footing coming out of the break on the pass pattern. But I'm a little disturbed by that SMU has really left his game plan. They've gone to the air almost exclusively right now with, at the time, almost 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Why?
Well, probably because they got the quick 7 points and figured that they wanted to get the momentum by getting out in front. But they didn't do it, so James will have to kick again. Remember, he's their backup punter. Eric Cavus has a bad leg. High snap, almost blocked. Best kick of the day for James. And hit by the Mustangs' Russell Carter is Rob Morshell, but he comes forward to about the 30-yard line. Only a 5-yard return by Morshell. 37-yard kick in the air, 3.3. James not doing a bad job for a backup kicker.
Not bad at all, and he got that last one off pretty well. He gave his team pretty good field position to defend the long-run offense.
But Preston, I keep getting back to this. SMU is asking its defense to do everything today. The offense finally did something before. Now the defense has to do it again. Now Texas, as you can see right in the middle of your screen, is bringing Rick McIver back now on the right side. The junior quarterback from Fort Stockton. He was out for a few series, and McIver comes back now. But again, the SMU defense is being asked to carry the load. Again, the offense last time could not take advantage of the fact that they'd held them.
Fred Akers, a very intelligent man, good coach. What he has done here is, I think, a very strategic move. He allowed Brewer, the backup quarterback, to come in, fairly successful, put McIver on the bench, allowed him to think about it a little bit and see what's going on. I think it could be a strategic move that could work out positively for Texas.
They give us to Champ Jones, and as he stopped by McAtee, 64. Harvey Armstrong helped him. But Harvey McAtee is suddenly bearing a huge burden. A little senior from Houston, 5 feet 9 and 220. He's playing for the injured Michael Carter.
Well, he sure looks a little bigger than that to me.
Well, he really does today, but he has really filled the hole. Look at that big yawn right in the middle of the band. 2nd down 9, 6.5 minutes left to go. Longhorns at their own 30. Offensive motion by the tight end, Sampleton. That should drive him back. Miscue on the snap count as Rick McIver backs up. Time starting to be a factor. 6:33 to play. Texas protecting a 2-point lead. Illegal procedure against the offense. And it will be a little worse field position as the ball comes back to the Texas 25.
Many things, Brad, contribute towards a player or someone missing an offensive count. It could be fatigue, it could be lack of concentration, but all of that should be worked out in pregame and training camp preparations.
2nd down and 14. Blitz coming. And they take advantage by running the fullback Robinson up the gut to the 30. Stopped by Armstrong. SMU had the free safety Mobley coming on the blitz from the strong side of the formation. Texas took advantage by running the fullback up the middle.
It's just a quick hitter by the fullback trying to catch the SMU people in a blitz, which they did. He didn't get much out of it, 5 yards maybe. It could have been a late call there, penalty on number 46 Mobley.
Timeout called by the Texas Longhorns. And we'll take one as well. SMU has got him in a defensive third down posture. 6:02 to play. Texas leading the Mustangs 9-7. We'll be right back. Big play here. Texas third down 8. 6:02 in the game. McIver roll out right. No one to throw to. Got a man open. Sampleton. Oh, he dropped the ball at the 25-yard line. The big tight end, and we said before, the rap on him is he doesn't have the good hands. Preston, he was behind the entire defense. That looked like 6 Longhorn points.
Well, they're going to have to work on his hands. That's for doggone sure, because he was wide open. Nobody there. He's called that kind of player, and this is no rap on Mr. Sampleton. He's called board hands. And honest to goodness, he had to have boards not to miss that pass.
Well, that Texas loses an opportunity. Goodson with another great kick. Fair catch called for by Wes Hopkins at the 25-yard line. And SMU offense will try again. 5:48 to play. 43-yard kick by Goodson in the air, 4.2 seconds. Goodson kicking today, 54, 36, 38, 57, 56, 20, and he got away with it, and 43. What a day for that kid.
SMU got an additional opportunity. New life again. This has to be at least the third or fourth time when they've been given new life.
Like a cat, 9 lives. 1st and 10. SMU at its own 27, down 2 points. 5:48 to play. Play fake, wants to throw. McElhenney caught by Lee Jean for a first down. Up across the 45-yard line into multiple coverage. Graham and Bedford were there, but he gained 20 yards. McElhenney did, only his 4th completion of the day. He's now 4 out of 12 for 110 yards.
And SMU wanted a additional penalty to be thrown there. The sidelines was really up in air over the late hit. It's a straight drop back pass by McElhenney. He gets rid of the ball real quick, sets up strong, and delivers the ball in the pocket. He's hit here, and watch the late hit. That's very late. There should have been a penalty called there.
There's Dickerson brought down quickly by Mark Weber, the right defensive tackle, on 1st and 10. It'll be 2nd and 10, maybe 11. Time starting to be a factor, coming down on 5 minutes left. Boy, Texas should be out in front 16-7 right now. Sampleton got behind the defense. McIver suckered him up. Brought everybody up thinking roll out run, and Sampleton dropped the ball.
Completely dropped it.
2nd and 10, SMU at their own 47. Maybe an audible here. McElhenney play fake. Has time. He's buried. Closing it up, Kenneth Sims and Eric Holly, the defensive left side of the line. You folks have just got to try to appreciate what kind of great coverage Texas is getting downfield. When he stands up there in that pocket like that, and he doesn't throw the ball, I mean, they're getting great coverage.
That's right. You've got to give the SMU line a lot of credit. They did their job up front to hold those people out there for 4 or 5 seconds. But when you've got nobody to throw the ball to downfield, that's exactly what's going to happen. Your quarterback's going to get buried, or he's got to run, and usually he's going to get caught.
Loss of 2. 3rd down, 12. SMU at its own 45. Play fake, blitz coming. Look out, Kenneth Sims. All the way back to the 36. Oh, is he some player? 77 in the white shirt.
No
is
time.
He some player? He says something to McElhenney. McElhenney, cutty little kid, letting him have it right back. But now look at the clock. 3:45 and running, and SMU has to punt it away again. Texas defense and field position, the difference in the game. There's the time left. Craig James to kick. Kenneth Sims just made the big defensive play. 4th down and 20. Horrible kick off the side of his foot. Texas with excellent field position again at its own 45-yard line. And 3:14 left in the game. Preston, you got to think they're going to just run the ball out. SMU has got his only hope, really, is to hope for a turnover.
There's no strategy at this point for Texas. They're going to put the ball on the ground for 3 downs, 4 if they have to, and play with the clock and try to run out the clock with 3:14 left to go. SMU, on the other hand, has got to cause some kind of turnover, whether it be fumble or if they're going to put the ball in the air, which they're not, get an interception.
Only an 18-yard kick by Craig James. We're going to remind you that next Saturday we got a dandy coming up. We'll be at College Station as the Mustangs take on the Aggies of Texas A&M. We saw the Aggies, of course, and you did last week on Channel 39, as they just lost a toughie right at the end of the game to the Baylor Bears. And A&M and SMU, a dandy next week at Kyle Field in College Station, and there are a few places in America that appreciate and really can put on a college football game like Texas A&M. And so that's where we'll be next week. But right now, a critical 3:14 to play. Well, Texas leading 9-7.
SMU at least has got its timeouts left. They've got 2 left, and they've got to play defense and knock them down fast and call at least 1 timeout at this point.
McIver to Jam Jones. He got about 3 yards. Over left guard Harvey Armstrong made the stop. Jam Jones, 63 yards now on 18 carries. Clock running, 3 minutes and counting. He got 4 yards, 2nd down, 6. There's the Texas band celebrating. McIver at quarterback, Robinson and Jam Jones behind him. They will grind out the clock. 2:40 left. Jam Jones. Flags fly. Jones into the secondary, brought down finally by Radford, the cornerback. Frequently holding when it's thrown where it was thrown. 13-yard gain may be wiped out. Let's not presume, though. Let's wait and see. Clock stops with 2:32 to play. Holding Texas. Even the big Texas offensive lineman Brian Millard, the left tackle, the junior from Dumas, signaled that, number 76. They'll walk it off.
And the only thing that Texas got out of that is they ran off about 35 seconds. Now they're going to be pushed back here, but it's still going to be 2nd down, so they've still got 2 downs to run more time off that clock.
And again, SMU's only hope at this point, as you see the indication of the holding call against Texas, SMU's only hope really is cause a fumble, because Texas is not going to throw the ball. A reminder that tonight's game will also be seen Monday night at 6 on Channel S, as in Simmons in the Park Cities on the Simmons Sports Channel. 2:16 left in the game. 2nd and 12, Texas. McIver to Carl Robinson. Got about 3 or 4 yards back, maybe 5. And the clock running at 2:04, 3, 2, 1.
Now they've got to call a timeout here. They've got to use one of those timeouts to stop the clock. Get the ball back if they can, SMU that is, and then go to work offensively with what little time there's going to be left.
Well, I think what they're going to hope to do here, and of course Texas is going to be in no hurry to run this 3rd down play. SMU is trying to hold on to those 2 timeouts and use them offensively, but they may not have enough time to do that. 1:38. And McIver with a long count. Pitch to Jam Jones. Sweep. Brought down by Eric Moore. Now will SMU call time on 4th down? 1:25 left. Punting situation for Goodson. SMU perhaps with their last gasp about to come up. 1:25. This has been a great defensive game.
And SMU did call a timeout, so they've got 1 left. It is up to Goodson now to pin them back as deep as he can into their own territory, allow his defensive unit to go to work on SMU. On the other hand, SMU has got to find some way to march that ball up the field without using any of their timeouts, and yet be able to use what they can. McElhinney is very important just to get what he can get.
And another thing to remember now, SMU doesn't need a touchdown at this point of the game. There's a minute 25 left. They're 2 points down. Well, they need a field goal. Garcia missed a 54-yarder today, and you can't blame him for that. He's hit 52. If that had been a 52-yarder, he would have made it. Allegre missed a 38-yarder for Texas, but he's hit 3. He's been their offense as far as scoring is concerned, and not many of the 60,000 plus here have left with a minute 25 to play. Goodson will kick it away, and as you see, each team has a timeout left. So Goodson, as Preston told you a moment ago, will try to pin him back. SMU's got 10 men up on the line. And Goodson gets a high kick away to the right side. It's going out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. And they're going to walk it upfield up to the 25. Still walking. Where's he going to quit? 22-yard kick is all he got, but it was in the air 4.9 seconds. And that's kind of important. Just a minute 19 left. There you see the score. And SMU will have the ball at its own 28-yard line. Preston, they've got to come up to about the 30 anyway.
They've got time. There's plenty of time to go approximately 40 yards, Brad. That's really all they have to go in order to get themselves in a position to kick a field goal. That's plenty of time.
A minute 19 left. Texas leading by 2. McElhinney to throw. Under pressure, he is sacked. SMU may have to use its last time out here. A minute 11 left, and the time running a minute 5.
If they didn't call 2 plays here, Brad, they're going to lose this ball game. They don't call that timeout.
Well, the tight end Ricky Bolden slow to get back to the huddle. Clock running less than a minute.
And he hasn't called a timeout yet. I don't understand that.
Now,
I don't understand it.
Now we got a stoppage of the clock at 51 seconds. And that was only because now finally SMU has called time. They had a man lose his jersey and go to the sideline. I don't understand what took him so long to get the clock stopped.
It's a drop back pass here by McElhinney and SMU, but there's nothing open here. With Kenneth Sims getting open, coming after him, and you'll see his strength here as he yanks McElhinney down.
83 is Ed Williams, the man who finally brought him down. But it's the remarkable Kenneth Sims who put the pressure on. And what a player he's been today.
He's been superb. He's lived up to all the expectations and all the paperwork that they've been giving him. I don't understand SMU. We have McElhinney going off the field to take care of his torn shirt. Somebody else out there has got to call timeout. They lost at least 6 seconds off the clock by him walking to the sidelines and not calling the timeout.
They also lost their last timeout now. No timeouts left for SMU. Down 2 points with 51 seconds to play. And they lost 3 yards on the quarterback sack. How many times has he been sacked today? 7 times he's been sacked today by Texas. No timeouts left on second down. Got to throw a sideline pattern. There it is. Caught, but he can't get out of bounds.
Got to get
now
up.
The clock will stop for a first down. Remember, this is college football, so the clock will stop for a first down. He got 17 yards on the play out to Jackie Wilson. 44 seconds left. They have a play called. He will probably throw the ball out of bounds, I would think, and give up a down. Clock running now, 40 seconds. Play fake. Running with the ball. Throwing. Caught.
Out of bounds.
Bolden.
That's it.
Inside the 50 down to the 48-yard line.
They've got time. They've got time for at least 5 plays.
A flag down. And the injured SMU player is Steve Stanlin, number 63. And we may have a holding call. And wouldn't that crunch him? McElhinney throwing to Wilson for a first down, then throwing to Bolden for another apparent first down. Stanlin is the player who is down. And Bill Bagan calling for the football, bringing it back to the 40.
Looks like a man downfield, perhaps, Ray.
There's Steve Stanlin, who he's working on. Penalty against SMU. And that's a big one. Illegal formation. Oh, a forward pass. There you go. Not an illegal formation, but McElhenney was across the line of scrimmage when he threw the forward pass. There is Stanlin, and they can ill afford to lose him, having already lost Scott Gibson for the year, starting right tackle. And Stanlin, in fact, his backup, Ricky Schulte, playing on the other side. 63, a big senior from Oxnard, California, 6'5", 280 pounds, and something of a pall cast over this still large crowd with 34 seconds to play. McElhenney called for throwing the ball across the line of scrimmage, so it's a loss of 5 yards back to second down, 12. He had the ball down to the Texas 48, and we're going to see him come across the line of scrimmage as they work on stats. A second knee injury today for SMU. Michael Carter the other. Watch him. Was he across the line of scrimmage when he scrambles and throws?
It looks to me like it's going to be very close. Here's the official standing right there, and it does look like he did cross.
You could see the yard marker on the left side of your screen, and here's Steve Stanlin hobbling off. This has really been a costly game for SMU. Stanlin out. Carter has missed the entire second half. Michael Carter. The clock will start now with 34 seconds to play. SMU down by 2 at their own 40-yard line. As soon as the ball is snapped. Back to throw McElhenney. Throwing deep, looking for Wilson. Intercepted by Texas. That'll wrap it up. William Graham, the outstanding senior free safety from Silsbee. With 28 seconds to play, William Graham, who's had a tremendous afternoon, may have wrapped it up for the Longhorns.
That definitely wrapped it up for the Longhorns. And I question whether or not they should have been going that deep. All they had to do was to go 10 yards for 3 plays. And this play alone by itself took maybe 6 seconds. They had 35 something odd seconds to go in this game. I thought they should have been going to complete 5 or 10 yards, 3 or 4 downs to get in field goal range.
Sideline patterns, right?
Yes.
So that he can throw the ball incomplete if his man is covered and use the clock that way with no interceptions. Instead, going into double coverage for Wilson and Graham with a big interception. And now, of course, the Longhorns will just run out the last 25 seconds. 24. And SMU's unbeaten string will apparently come to an end, and the Longhorns really having to respond to a challenge. Great defensive struggle on both sides today, but it looks like Texas, with the clock at 11 seconds and counting, has bounced back from its big loss at Arkansas a week ago. And this conference race is really a scramble. 1 second, and the game is over. And a bitter disappointment for the SMU Mustangs and a big lift for the Texas Longhorns. And both of these teams lived up to their billing this afternoon.